What in the hell do you think you are doing?
Hey, John Boy.
I'm telling you straight, it's my way or the highway. So anybody wants to walk, do it now.
Hey, everybody, we're all gonna get laid.
And again, it's picked off. It's Darius Leonard. A pick six for the Maniac. Touchdown, I-N-D-Y. Yes, sir.
Oh, the chicken! Double time!
Miles Turner. Yeah.
John, I have never been better to be on the air with you here in Indianapolis, a place where so many of my dreams have come true.
The Ride with JMV on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
You know, I said this last night, and if you remember, we were going through players that we had hoped were going to be around at number 6 for the Pacers a couple of weeks ago in the draft, and we talked about that certainly a ton. You know, players that were going to be there who you wanted. You know, a lot of you were upset after the draft because Jaden Ivey was right there, a pick in front, and you didn't feel that the Pacers were aggressive enough at trying to take a shot at the former Boilermaker. Surprisingly enough, Keegan Murray went earlier in that draft, at the top of that draft, to the Sacramento Kings. And don't get me wrong, Keegan Murray has looked good. When they went head-to-head in game number 2 of Summer League on Sunday, Keegan Murray looked pretty good. And we all knew that. And again, I do have to remind you that this is Summer League. Guys are going to be having games in this, and then it is likely how much translates, you think, to actual NBA immediacy at that level? Not much. But it's entertaining to watch and try to figure out what these guys are, especially if you're a Pacer fan, because this has not been a common theme in the past. You're up selecting 6th overall for the first time that high since 1989. This is altogether new territory. So it's okay if you watch these games to evaluate, even if that evaluation is not going to be accurate once the actual NBA season starts. But we went back and forth, and we knew that it was going to be either Murray or Matherin. Didn't know it was going to go down in the fashion in which it did, but you knew it was going to be one or the other more than likely. Yeah, we had that verbal debate, that tug of war leading up to that Thursday draft, 3 weeks ago now? But I can tell you this. It is tough. And watching summer leagues of the past and watching rookies, young dudes play in these summer leagues, the one thing that stands out overall, and Rick Carlisle even said it last night, if you watch that game with their matchup in the summer league against the Pistons, when asked by Greg Anthony about what do you think about Benedict Matherin, he said he's an NBA scorer right now. And he looks to be an absolute NBA scorer right now. Here are the 2 things that stick out to me. Just beyond that blanket statement, which I believe to be accurate, and you have so many reasons to be excited about this kid. I've watched 3 games now, and he gives me plenty of reason to want to come back and watch it again. Obviously I have to watch it because we talk about it on this show. A lot of you are sick and tired of the DeAndre Ayton storyline. I don't blame you, but the longer this thing drags out with reported interest, then we're going to keep talking about it because it is a sports show and that's what we do. I don't give a damn what they do downstairs. I don't give a damn what anybody else does here. But we connect with you because you join us at 3 o'clock. You know what we're going to be talking about. And if you're tired of one subject, that doesn't necessarily mean everybody else is tired of it. But the 2 things that stand out, even beyond what Rick Carlisle said last night during that game, was this. He is a tough kid. I mean, he goes at you. And I know it's Summer League. I'm going to continue to remind you of that because if I don't, somebody's going to say, well, it's the Summer League. So I know that it's Summer League. But he goes at you. He goes at you, and he plays through contact. You watch how much, unless you're just a straight big man in the summer league, watch how many times guys in the neighborhood of 6'6" or less in height, count how many times these guys actually go looking for, accept, and then play through that contact. That's exactly what he does. Or at least that's what I've seen so far. Hey, I get all skippy when everybody knocks down threes, don't get me wrong. Love jump shooting. I get excited when everybody jumps down and makes threes. I guess that's kind of because I have always wanted to be somebody, whatever level you're playing, I wanted to be somebody that, you're able to, physically speaking, play through contact. Finish through contact. I shouldn't even say play through contact because you can play through it, but you may not get it up to the rim. But finish with contact is something that not often you see with rookies at this level coming into the NBA. And that's probably what I have noticed about him more so than anything else. And it's almost like he feels that people have doubted him. He is the type of guy that looks like that he is playing with that chip on his shoulder. I don't know what it is, but I love his demeanor. I love how he goes about the game. Don't get me wrong, he's got a feathery touch. But man, you talk about somebody that can play and then finish through contact. That is a tough kid. He is just a tough-ass kid. And that has probably stood out to me, again, in this NBA Summer League, as far as any of these Pacer storylines go. And I just thought last night when I was listening to Rick Carlisle, talk it up with Greg Anthony on that broadcast last night on NBA TV, he didn't quite go that far. He called him an NBA scorer right now, which to be able to finish through contact is to be an NBA scorer right now. That's what you have to do. That's what you have to do. Everybody has learned that. I mean, there is no doubt. Everybody just continues to move back to attempt threes, but trying to finish through contact. Pacer fans, you got a tough kid right there. He's tough. He is tough, and I know it's 3 games in to his summer league career, but it looks like that he feels motivated in a challenge each and every night, at least so far from what I've seen. All this has done for 3 games is get me more excited about watching him play. And again, I was certainly pro Murray, and there's nothing wrong with Keegan Murray. Keegan Murray is going to be able to score. I haven't watched, other than the game, actually, when the Kings played the Pacers, I haven't watched enough from Murray in Summer League to know. I just know that he's playing well. I know offensively, certainly he has shown that he can score at the NBA level too. But I've been certainly more excited in watching Mathurin play because he kind of brings to you a saltiness and almost a veteran type of presence. It's the way that it feels. Like, it doesn't feel like you're watching a rookie. It feels like you're watching somebody that's played. You can tell. I'll give you a great example. I'm not trying to compare the two whatsoever. But if you watch Terry Taylor got a lot of clock during the season last year. And you can tell Terry Taylor feels comfortable. My man, nobody has figured out that he's going to go left most of the time, especially in the summer league. But you can tell he feels comfortable about whomever he's going up against, that he's going to be able to get his shot off, or he might be able to put something up and then go back and get it. What is he, about 6'5"? I don't know where his future might lie here. I know he's got 1 year guaranteed, right, is what Terry Taylor has. He's certainly a go-get-it guy. What is he, 6'5"? Sometimes he reminds me, and again, this is a broad comparison, and this is what stood out, because in this summer league, sometimes it looks like he just puts it up knowing that it's going to come back off, and he knows where it's going to come back off at, and then goes at it. Kind of like Moses Malone used to do that all the time. I mean, Malone would you just get it up on the rim, get it up on the glass because he knew he was going to outwork the people around him to go back up and get it, and then it might lead to an easier finish or certainly an and one. When you get a scrambling finish like that, most of the time when you finish with all those arms flapping around you, you're probably going to get some sort of and one opportunity. But you can tell he feels comfortable out there. He feels comfortable out there because he got that opportunity to play at the NBA level last year. But Mathurin just looks, he just looks like he's been out there longer to me. Am I wrong about that? And what Rick Carlisle said was accurate. I just thought you could have talked about it a little bit longer, and I'm sure you don't want to talk about it forever because you don't want to blow that much sunshine up his rear end as a rookie. But he looks like that he is not your average rookie. Give you a great example with Jaden Ivey before he rolled his ankle. I mean, you could tell that Jaden Ivey is going to get going. Athletically speaking, he's probably the most gifted out there. And when he gets going, he's going to get going downhill, and it's going to be tough to stop. He looks like a very young, or I guess you could make the comparison to a very young Russell Westbrook. He just gets going, and not a lot of people are able or certainly want to try to get in front of it. And he jumps up in the air, and he's just up there longer than everybody else. He's up there longer than everybody else. He hangs. He's stronger than most at that position right now. So he looks like, to me, that translation is going to be a good one for Detroit, but so does Mathurin. With all these other accolades and, being an NBA-level scorer right now, and who knows, listen, is he going to have ups and downs? Absolutely. But remember, as Pacer fans, you've been looking for what? You've been looking for, if you feel, and I think most of you do, that they got Duarte right. I know that still some out there would argue Duarte or Moody. Still kind of make that argument. Kyle, do you make that argument? Yeah. Duarte and Moody? Some still make that particular argument, but you can't deny that when Duarte was out there last year, he played well and certainly looked like a keeper. Well, in the context of Benedict Mathurin, he looks like that, and then some. If you wanted a little bit of confidence in, what Kevin Pritchard and company are doing and choosing and, the direction of this team, that so far has got to make you feel good. And again, he's going to have his ups and downs, make no mistake. And the competition is going to get tough. And then you're going to have to get ready for that on a night in and night out basis. It's not summer league where you get to play and then sit for a day and then come back and play again. And you pretty much know that your talent level is going to outlast most people out there on the floor with you. But I have been incredibly impressed. And felt that way again last night. Not that the dude's going for 35 or anything like that. He just looks like he is ready, and he is built, and he is strong. And he has that meaningful, tough type of chip on the shoulder where he's out there just trying to look for that next challenge. I like that. Like when you watch Keegan Murray just looks smooth, and there's not a great deal of... Not a great deal. It lacks description, right? He's just out there playing, and you can't tell if he's missed his last five or made his last five. Mathurin just looks a little bit different. He goes out there, and he either, on the triple threat, gets you off because you respect him off the dribble and shoots it, or he's not afraid to go in, take some contact, and then finish through that contact. And I've been really impressed with that thus far. If you guys want to hit that last night's game, you certainly can. The thoughts of what Rick Carlisle had to say during the game last night. A lot of people suggested when he mentioned that Halliburton is here, and Halliburton has kind of struck a chord where now players, free agents, what have you, want to come here and play. A lot of people have suggested that was regarding DeAndre Ayton. It could have easily been regarding Jalen Smith. I'm telling you, I didn't make too much of that moment last week. That was a big moment for this team, for this soft rebuild they're going through right now, especially. I mean, that was a winning moment. We'll see if 22 games actually turns out to be who Jalen Smith is with this team. Hopefully not just that, but even better. But it had been so long. Two things happened in the past month, and we haven't seen it forever. As high a selection with the number 6 overall. Hadn't seen that since 89. And rarely can you remember feeling really good about a player that didn't come here and play, and then for greener pastures, more money, whatever that might be, a warmer climate, a more vogue type of a location, somebody wanting to bail. Somebody wanting to bail when somebody's able to bail. That was a good moment. You've had 2 good moments in the past month. I don't know where this is going to lead. There's still a lot of work to do. But this certainly has been a good month to this point. Now, remember, we said the same thing about IU basketball last year. Hitting all the right notes in the offseason. Winning the offseason before they dribble, and then they went through certainly some hard times. So it's going to be different when somebody blows a whistle and you're dribbling and then somebody's guarding you. But so far, so good. And no matter what you feel about DeAndre Ayton, I would agree with this. And this is not, this is what scares me. One of the reasons why people look at this as an absolute gotta do, can't miss, is because you're overly excited, you're exuberant that they're actually getting mentioned. That the Pacers are a part of this because it's been so few and far between, and when it's been in between, normally it's been negative. It's been somebody wanting to bounce, whether it was Paul George or Victor Oladipo. Somebody wants to get the hell out of Dodge. But this has been different. So take it for what it's worth. What did I tell you last week? It's going to be about baby steps. You are going to have to embrace some of those smaller moments that have zero to do with what transpires on the court in November or December or January or February. Get a lot of people hardcore right now. All I care about is winning and losing. Yeah, you adjust to different situations. That is just a blanket. That is a full of crap take. Everybody wants to win. Nobody wants to lose. You're coming off a 25-win season, and you have come as close to dynamiting this thing up as you ever have. And I've described it as a soft rebuild, whatever. You do. You take those embraceable moments, because if you don't, you're going to be driven nuts. It's okay. And it's different when you're talking about the Colts compared to the Pacers. There is an absolute bar set where if you don't read it, or reach it, I should say, it's probably going to be somebody's ass. It is different. With the Pacers, it's about, hey, you know what? This guy did want to stay. Hey, did you watch the way that the 6th overall selection played in Summer League? Hey, can you believe they're actually in? Even if I disagree on a future with DeAndre Ayton over $30 million per season here, even if I disagree with that, I can't lie. It's much more interesting that the Pacers are a part of any discussion. We'll see if it happens. We'll see if it doesn't happen. If it does happen, if it works, great. If it doesn't, we'll see. But at least they're a part of it. That's good stuff. And I will say this, I embrace that so much more than Turbonis, so much more than, hey, is Brogdon going to be healthy? So much more than any of that. I'm trying to remember what we were talking about this time last year. Oh, this time last year, when did Bjorkgren get fired last year? What was the date on that? Do you remember? because we all felt, and I'm right there, that, hey, you know what? You're going to bring in Rick Carlisle. What's he making, $7 million a year as a coach?
I think it's, 7 to
somewhere
9.
in that neighborhood.
Maybe it was
That's
9.
a lot. That's a lot of money for a 25-win team.
June 9, Bjorkgren was fired.
So June 9. So we were talking about Rick Carlisle and the effect he was going to have on that team. And everybody felt, well, this is a playoff-worthy team. You add Rick Carlisle to a mix that was underachieving with Nate Bjorkgren and clearly got disjointed in the locker room, whether you want to blame that on Malcolm Brogdon or Bjorkgren himself or whatever. You know, all these different storylines going on. But everybody felt that Rick Carlisle, he was going to be that difference. And as it turned out, he wasn't. So he decided to go down this path. You win 25 games. But you'll drive yourself nuts if you don't allow to look at a couple of things and go, hey, you know what? That's okay. That's okay. Even if it doesn't involve a win on the floor. I wouldn't overextend about what you're going to think about this team. But certainly I'm not going to tell you, I'm not going to downplay it just for the sake. I don't want to keep everybody woe as me with that attitude. And I can tell you by watching that there are some pieces here that look absolutely legit. I will say Kendall Brown's activity alone. I'm hoping once somebody gets on him about what it is to play, what it is he needs to do, that turns into something too. And I'm hoping I'm completely wrong regarding Andrew Nemhard. There are times when he overextends himself. You can tell with the basketball. You know, he'll dribble into a double team and not just dribble into a double team, strongly, but go behind the back and between the legs. And he dribbles into that, trying to split the defenders and gets it ripped from him. But I've been good with how he has played most of the time so far. I was skeptical when they drafted him because I'd watched him so much out of Gonzaga, but I certainly think he's held his own. So, yeah, there are some reasons that you can take that don't involve winning or losing. You can take and you go, wow, that's good. You can be satisfied for a moment. Again, if you don't, you're going to drive yourself crazy. You don't want to be all those constantly angry people. We got so many of those running around right now. Anybody have? Probably a many. Just, you know what? You can't live, you can't walk day-to-day basis without being angry about something. I've got to be pissed about something. I've got to be mad. It's funny. I felt the same way. And some of you are going to dig this, some of you aren't. Because I know we have a lot of Cubs fans, White Sox fans, Cardinal fans, whatever. Yankee fans. So I'm going to take some of the advice I'm just handing out right now and look in the mirror and give it to myself. Now, here I was in the first month of the baseball season, hoping that the Reds would try to tackle one of the worst seasons in terms of losing of all time. And, when they got out of that, when they won, what did they win? 5 consecutive? What did they won? I don't know if it is now. They won 5 in a row. But they've had some really interesting wins. I mean, a walk-off win. They've had some walk-off wins. Yeah, 5. And I rarely talk about it. It almost seems like that I celebrated them being awful and maybe historically one of the worst of all time and not giving them any credit for the games they won. So I'm going to give them a shout-out for last night. That was pretty ballsy last night. You say what you will about it being near the All-Star break and, you're up against the Yankees. 4 in the top of the 9th is pretty ballsy. And I'm sorry, I can always celebrate. I can really get on board with nearly anybody when you beat the Yankees. So that's nice. So I'll take my own advice right there. Sometimes you just got to be happy with smaller things. In this case, it happened on the field at least. Now, I'll probably be back to woe is me once you go through the trade deadline and they unload Castillo and whoever else. Keep Moustakis. They're going to continue. Well, they got $30 million to pay Moustakas or something like that. Wonder how long it's going to be before Stevenson gets moved from catcher to first base. Along Votto. I love Votto too, but now, don't you have to find a solution there? Maybe you don't. But no, shout out to the Reds. We have not talked positively about them very much, if at all, this season. Last night was really nice. And a shout out to Jonathan India as well. I mean, really, up until then, what did I talk about? Up until then, all I talked about was, hey, well, at least you go to Cincinnati, you can, get a Frisch's big boy. I was reminded of this before we hit a break here last night. I can't remember how many years ago it was. I think it was the Dropping Dimes Foundation. And the late, great, our friend Robin Miller helped put together a reunion of sorts downstairs here at MS Worldwide. It was a reunion of ABA players. It was an incredible night. And I know a lot of you, like Kyle across from me, are way too young to remember some of those that made the ABA so great. But I got to thinking about that last night, and I got to thinking about how happy Robin Miller would be that the NBA struck a deal and the ABA players are going to get some money. This has been a battle for them over the years. And how happy R would be to hear that, because he had done so much to try to help out those. Because if you remember, he broke in as a reporter in the ABA covering the Pacers, really tight with Slick Leonard back in the day. Still was, certainly, up until his and Slick's passing. But I was thinking about that. I was thinking about Robin Miller twofold last night. I was thinking about Robin Miller in terms of that ABA news and the time that we had downstairs in the lobby. I got to hang out with George Gervin, the Iceman. And all I could do, he probably thought, man, would somebody get this tool away from me? All I wanted to do was talk about his poster. The Iceman poster, right? That's all I wanted to do. That and the finger roll. That's all we ever did back in the day. We'll finger roll and talk about the Iceman poster. It was really a great night. And then I got to thinking about the Alex Pillow, the Ganassi, the McLaren ordeal. What's going down with that story, and how we absolutely miss R being a part of that. I miss him anyway. I just miss him as a friend. I think about it all the time. This was such an R time of year. You had two stories last night that would have been in Robin Miller's wheelhouse. And I got to thinking, even past those stories, the IndyCar story of interest, the ABA story, something he'd been behind for so many years, I just got to thinking about how much I miss R, how much we miss our friend, how much I miss going to Workman's Friend with him. And I know a lot of you do as well. Yeah, last night was interesting. Last night would have been vintage R. And it certainly got me thinking just how much we miss him. Kevin Bowen's going to join us coming up at the top of the hour. Kevin and Query, weekday morning, 7 until 10 a.m. right here. Tony East is going to be here in the 5 o'clock hour as well. A lot of Pacer storylines going on. Getting closer and closer to the start of Colts camp. If you miss, Bobby Marks with us yesterday gave a good financial background and his thoughts on DeAndre Ayton and the Pacers reportedly trying to track him down. We'll see now if Donovan Mitchell, we mentioned this yesterday, if Donovan Mitchell may also be a part of something here relatively soon. It just seems like that there's a lot, the NBA's got a lot of plates right now spinning on its fingers. You know what I mean? A lot of things are up in the air. But Bobby Marks was really good yesterday. If you missed that podcast, 1075thefan.com. Brickyard prize package, including race day tickets, including practice tickets. I'll give you the song that will play as the re-entry coming up in just a bit. That's going to be your cue to call. Yeah, the Brickyard 400 is coming up. Somebody's going to win that prize pack, including race day tickets and practice tickets. All right, 239-1070. Email address is jmv at 1070thefan.com. Show us on Twitter at jmv1070, Inside the Lounge via YouTube Live. Shout out to everybody there. Let's go ahead and stack everybody in and start some good, solid conversation. When is it right to be okay with the simpler wins for your favorite team? Not so much what is the absolute that goes on the field or on the court. When is it okay to celebrate those smaller victories that sometimes we completely look over? That conversation inside the lounge via YouTube Live, Facebook Live as well, the stream, the app, HD Radio, 93.1, HD Radio 2, and 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Hi guys, are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? Well, today, Wednesday, July 13th, we're running an unprecedented one-day special. Pine Grove Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. This is a technology clinically shown to repair blood vessels and improve blood flow. My favorite part is that we can get rid of your erectile dysfunction without any pills or side effects. If you're ready to regain your love life, grab your phone. Today is your day. Call us now and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. Also, a gift that can produce powerful results in the bedroom in minutes. You're going to love that. And today only, we're offering 5 tune-up treatments to our patients free. This is our most lucrative offer ever, and it's only good today, Wednesday, July 13th. 317-552-1111. That's 317-552-1111. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and see what can happen in your relationship. Call Pine Grove Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 317-552-1111.
Hubler has all the top brands: Chevy, Buick, GMC, Ford, Acura, Honda, Mazda, Nissan, and more. And every new vehicle includes a 10-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Looking to sell your vehicle? We'll pay you top dollar, even if you don't buy ours. Take it from Brooke Hubler.
You can get a car anywhere, but you can only get a warranty like this at Hubler. 10 years, 200,000 miles.
Visit drivehubler.com. Hubler has it all. Warranty available on new vehicles except certain models, not transferable or available on leases. Copy of the warranty is available for review at the dealership.
You forget something?
Yeah, listen, I'm not going to be able to pick up Braden tonight after practice.
Oh, did something come up at work?
Nah, not even going to make it in today.
Why? What's going on?
Well, I'm coming up on some construction in about a quarter mile. I've already started ignoring the signs. In a minute, I'll force my way through traffic while texting. I'll pull the wheel a little too far and drive right through the barrels where I'm going to hit a few workers. One of them is going to get killed, so then I'm going to be arrested and charged with vehicular manslaughter.
No one plans on having an accident, but you can plan to avoid one. Read the signs. Slow down. Stay alert.
This is Ray Hobbs, business manager of Labor's Local 741. Everyone deserves a safe place to work. Do your part in the cone zone. Slow down, save a life. We're all in this together.
A message from Indiana's District Council of Laborers International Union of North America and affiliated locals.
This is Matt Crowder, live at the gas station on 41st Street, reporting on those skyrocketing gas prices. Excuse me, miss, are you buying less gas now because of the high prices?
Oh, I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute, are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
Well, does that actually add up to anything?
I've made around $200.
Wow, well, there you have it. Stop paying full price for gas. Download the free Upside app and get real cash back every time you buy gas. This is Matt Crowder Radio News Network. Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BUS for a $5 bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BUS for a $5 bonus on your first tank. That's code BUS.
Hey, it's JMV for Indiana's best. Andy Moore, Buick GMC. That's 131st and State Road 37 in Fishers. Into 2022, we go with a load of inventory. Your selection is enhanced. Your car buying experience, the absolute best. Talk to my good friend Eric Wilson. If you're looking for a new set of wheels in the new year, get it done at only one place. That's Andy Moore, Buick GMC. Tell him I sent you. 131st and State Road 37. It's Andy Moore, Buick GMC in Fishers.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and stop smoking now without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back. totally changed my life.
It's amazing. I don't have any cravings. You want to quit, but have found it impossible? This is the thing for you. I have absolutely no craving. It's the darndest thing I have ever seen in my life.
It's not for entertainment. It's for results.
Do it. It works. Period.
You've tried everything else. You need to come and try this.
Only $49.99 guaranteed. Because don't just cut down, but stop smoking. In addition, use hypnosis to lose all the weight and destroy unwanted cravings. Seminars Thursday, July 28th at the Hampton Inn and Suites in Fishers. Weight loss seminar 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar 8 to 10 p.m. And Saturday, July 30th at the La Quinta Inn and Suites South in Indianapolis. Weight loss seminar 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Stop smoking seminar 2 to 4 p.m. More info at markpatrickseminars.com.
If you're a window installer, keep it simple. Choose Anderson 400 Series windows. They're the cladwood windows contractors trust the most. So much so, they're the windows contractors trust for their own homes. And with fewer callbacks, the choice is simple. It's Anderson 400 Series windows, the windows contractors trust the most. Get started at AndersonWindows.com today.
Claims based on 2022 Anderson Brand Survey of U.S. contractors.
The amount of money our clients receive with a simple cash-out refinance is life-changing. Learn more and get pre-approved at thehomeloanexpert.com. NMLS number 1326241.
School is in session.
LaFonso Ellis, how difficult is it to take a team in the lottery and improve them?
It's hard, Doc, unless you're getting one of those generational players. I always call it a learning curve of how to play in the league. I look at Indiana. I love some of the young pieces that they're bringing in. They could use a big-time veteran player to smooth the transition of the younger guys into Pacer basketball.
Dan Dockage, weekdays noon to 3 on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Kevin Bowen, top of the hour. Tony Easton, the 5 o'clock hour. I'll get your thoughts on 3 games of the Summer League. Your thoughts on Matherin. I just put that out inside the lounge via YouTube Live for everybody to go after there. Hey, it's all we got to do. See, here's the thing. Inside the lounge via YouTube Live, everybody gets it. Occasionally somebody gets off the rails, but I have a very low bar set. Just no crankish behavior. I don't want to deal with it. I don't have the time nor the inclination. Everybody knows, and hopefully most enjoy it. That's what it's all about right there. But yeah, I think you're right at JMV at 1070thefan.com, Tim. I don't know if I'm going to go full arousal. I might have a bit of a semi, I guess, right now. Sports arousal-wise, as far as Matherin is concerned, but I like him. I can't lie. 3 games into the Summer League, and I really like the way that he plays. And it goes well beyond, I can watch somebody shoot and just go, I can get on board with that right now. You know, jump shooting ability is always number one to me. But how he's able to get in, show that lack of fear, and then go at guys bigger than him, and then finish through the contact, it seems to be more than even what Rick Carlisle explained it to be last night is, he's already an NBA-level scorer. The physical nature of his play and inviting that in as a rookie, even if it is the Summer League right now, I like that a great deal. I do. Really like what I see. I don't know if I'm going to make any comparisons. I know a lot of you are comparing him to, a Dwayne Wade type of guy that goes in and can take that contact. I don't know if I want to go there yet through 3 of those games. I'm just telling you how I feel about him alone. Cody Fowler inside the lounge via YouTube Live writes this. I thought Matherin could have been sold as a best player in the draft. I don't know about Banchero or Smith or Chet. The argument could have been Ivy or Matherin and one to me. Give me the bigger, better shooter. I'm not going to say anything. I think we've seen enough out of, clearly Orlando has, with Banchero. I'm not going to suggest that he should have been selected higher. I like what he brings to this Pacer team that is going through that soft rebuild right now. I like what he adds. Again, I haven't watched him play enough, and I do. I like Keegan Murray a great deal. He is just smooth. A smooth basketball player, a smooth scorer. Doesn't seem like anything ever gets at him. What'd Crash Davis say? He said, don't let him get in your kitchen. It doesn't look like that he ever lets anybody get in his kitchen. He's just always under control. Matherin just kind of goes at you. He goes at you and he keeps you guessing. He's got a really nice touch from outside, but man, he can bow up and go strong at you too. I like that. Like that a great deal. Jack writes this inside the lounge via YouTube Live. JMV, you got a gut feeling on the Pacers getting 8, and I'm assuming because, again, there is so much conversation going on that there's a great deal of accuracy to them wanting him. Yeah, I just don't know if they're going to get it done. I would have to assume that they're going pretty hard at it. Now, I did ask yesterday, if you remember, I asked Bobby Marks if this whole Durant saga was leading to a slower pace, what the Pacers might be able to do to bring in DeAndre Ayton. He said, yeah, probably not. He didn't think that was concerning to him. And then everybody is kind of also considering, Donovan Mitchell maybe being a part of it now. But Bobby Marks yesterday on the show dismissed all of that. It would seem like that there would be some sort of relatable. But Bobby said no. Nate writes this, Pacers got a good guy in Matherin, but let's not crown him. I'm not trying to... Let's ho. See, this is why I explain every time through 3 Summer League games. And this is why I'm telling you, it's okay. It is okay to get excited and feel good about a moment. Because this team is likely going to win about 30 games again this year. You're not going to have much to really embrace. So don't tell me that I'm going overboard. I'm not going overboard. I'm just living in this moment right now. So I know Nate was probably pointing at the guy talking about the number 1 overall selection here. No. I'm not going that far. I just really like what I see. And I've watched a ton of this stuff. He just seems to me as a highly touted guy. He has a great deal of feathery touch combined with fearlessness. And that fearlessness is rewarded because he's a strong and physical dude. Like, those are things, the final 2 things, that's what I didn't expect, I guess, Nate. I didn't expect to see that. I expected to see, makes from distance. I expected to see some athleticism. I didn't expect to see that grinder type of go at somebody and toughness going to the rim like that. Because he's taken some bumps. That's the one thing that I did not expect. But no. Yeah, Let's not go over. I'm not going overboard at all. That's just kind of how I feel in the moment. Just some things that I didn't think I was going to see out of him through 3 games that I have seen, and that's a hell of a good thing. And I think it's okay to embrace it at times, too. Anthony Bailey writes this, hey, JMV, are you concerned about Duarte's injury leading up to the season? I don't feel concerned about it right now. It's funny, you kind of look back on that. I think everybody was pretty satisfied with Duarte, and now you get everybody kind of leaning a little bit to the Moses Moody should have gone this direction. We went through basically all of last year suggesting that they got the Duarte pick right, and then now everybody's kind of changing that up a little bit. And truth be told about Moody, with that team, it's going to be tough to be able to get out there and show what you absolutely can do because they have so much, and they don't really need on a day-to-day basis somebody like that. But I can't, as far as watching him play on the floor last year, I was fine with the way Duarte played. Jason Gill chimes in. I would love a reasonable, more accessible option to watch these young Pacers on TV. You know what? I have not even done any research on where this is right now. This is probably something I need to talk to Denary or JJ or somebody about. I don't know where it is. I just know this, and I know I'm different than a lot of you. I go with DirecTV. Everybody tells me I'm crazy, and then I look at my bill at the end of every month, and yes, I probably am a little bit crazy. But I just want the security of knowing when I go to whatever the hell channel it is, 671-2, I don't even know where it is. I just go there and find it on the guide, and boom, there it is. I just want to know that it's going to be there. So that's why I have chosen to go the direction in which I have gone with DirecTV. It's not because they're overwhelmingly killing it for me, and it's such a reasonable rate, and a great price, and customer service and all that. It's because I want to be able to turn it on and go to whatever the hell channel that is and know that it's there.
So if you want to stream, if you don't have cable at DirecTV, you can get DirecTV Now, which will have Bally Sports Indiana.
Yep.
And they have recently launched Bally Sports Plus. It's currently only in 5 markets right now. So we have to wait till it expands to Indianapolis. But when that launches here in Indy, you'll be able to watch Pacers games that way as well.
So there you go. And again, I just choose to go home and turn on my television and just have it there. Some of you that have the smarts, real good. You've cut the cord long ago. You're doing your streaming thing. And believe me, I appreciate the streaming thing because a lot of you are watching via YouTube Live on the stream right now on a TV. I appreciate that. But for me, I've got to simplify it a little bit more. I don't have the smarts real good. Jack writes this, JMV, gut feeling, do the Pacers get Ayton? Sorry for the giggle. Up until yesterday, I will say this. The way that Bobby Marks broke it down, I thought there was going to be an absolute time and place in which that deal was going to be done. I thought at some point Ayton was going to be here. Then yesterday, the way Bobby Marks was talking about it, and Bobby Marks, you guys are, let's just say, 85% all in. 85% of you out there are in with Ayton, and then there are some of us that are just still fairly skeptical about it. I thought Bobby Marks yesterday was a little bit more than just fairly skeptical about it. It didn't sound like to me that he felt that this was the right move for what the Pacers are trying to do rebuilding-wise. $30+ million for a conventional center. You could tell yesterday he wasn't on board. So I probably was more, it's going to absolutely happen before he came on the show at about 4:30 yesterday. And again, you can listen if you missed it yesterday. You can listen for yourself. Maybe I just heard something that nobody else did. But that's kind of what I gathered yesterday. All right, quick break and we shall return. Tony East in the 5 o'clock hour. Kevin Bowen coming up at the top of this hour. We have a Backyard Bourbon broadcast coming up on Friday. I will tell you where I will be. I'm going to be in Fishers coming up on Friday. All you can eat, all you can drink. A party for not just 30 of the friends. I hear that these folks are bringing about 50 plus. So this thing is going to be a party. Backyard Bourbon broadcast for the summer of 2022, number 2 in Fishers. I'll explain coming up. You and me at 239-1070 next.
It's Kevin and Query.
I'm a big fan of what the Pacers have done so far. By no means am I saying this is a team that's going to finish 4th or 5th in the East. But now all of a sudden you look at this roster, and with Halliburton, Mathurin, Chris Duarte, Jalen Smith, that provides you some intrigue. It's a little bit more present-day NBA. Now you've got a really youthful team of lottery picks. I'm very intrigued by what the Pacers have done.
Kevin and Query.
Weekday mornings at 7
on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
You're absolutely right. I trust my cool and comfort in my home to John and Chris Love at Love Heating and Air at 317-353-2141, and so should you. I mean, there's a reason why they've been around for about 100 years in doing this, because they're the absolute best around, and I trust them with my cool and comfort, especially knowing that the cooling units around Central Indiana, they have gone through a lot in the past month. There is no doubt. Overworked. Got to make sure your system, your unit is working efficiently. Go with the best. John and Chris Love at Love Heating and Air, 317-353-2141. Tell them I sent you online today. That's love-hvac.com.
A prize pack that includes 4 tickets to practice at the Brickyard, the Gallagher Grand Prix, the Pennzoil 150, and the Verizon 200 at the Brickyard. Register to win now at 1075thefan.com/contest.
Hey guys, wondering what Urology of Indiana can do for you? They are your one-stop practice for world-class men's urologic health needs. Not only do they treat general urology conditions, their board-certified urologists perform vasectomies every day of the week, all year long. And they have multiple vasectomy clinics, so chances are good there's one close to you. Urology of Indiana also has Central Indiana's only center with a team of fellowship-trained men's health physicians, offering a comprehensive approach to ED, sexual dysfunction, and other men's health conditions. And they have a renowned prostate cancer program that offers the most advanced treatment options, nationally recognized for patient outcomes. Now is a great time to see a urologist. Call Urology of Indiana at 877-362-2778 to schedule an appointment. That's 877-362-2778, or visit urologyin.com for more information. That's urologyin.com.
Hey, JMV here to give you the best, most outstanding water possible. We all deserve that. We all want it, but then sometimes we fall short with the decision making. I am giving you a sound and absolute decision to make right now. If you don't have Connecticut water in your home, get it. Joe and John got it for you. The Premier Series water softener, the K5 in-home drinking water station at great pricing right now. Now is a great time to go out and finally make your water the absolute best. And use Connecticut. Tell them I sent you the Premier Series water softener, the K5 in-home drinking water station today with Connecticut. The 2 locations, Northeast Side, Castleton, South Side, US 31, and Southport Road. The Connecticut Water app. Download that to your smartphone or device today or online, ConnecticutIndy.com.
O'Reilly.
This is Claudia's O'Reilly Auto Parts story.
I had just moved to a new city and barely even knew where the grocery store was yet. When my car wouldn't start one morning, I didn't know who to ask about local shops. But I remembered a name from back home, O'Reilly Auto Parts. I called and they pointed me to a great mechanic just down the street. Now I feel a little more at home.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Circle K is America's thirst stop. And yours, especially when the weather gets... and you need to stay refreshed on the go with ice-cold Circle K favorites like freshly ground iced coffee, Froster, Polar Pop Cup, and more. Think of it as the ultimate thirst-quenching, totally rehydrating summer splash zone. When life's go, 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 make us your first stop. Because Circle K is America's thirst stop.
Big Red Liquors.
Big gas giveaway.
This month, Big Red Liquors is giving away 4 $500 gas cards.
Yes, you could win a $500 gas card.
Stop in at any Big Red Liquors to enter. It's free. Must be 21 to enter. No purchase necessary.
Thursday on Kevin and Query, we update you on the British Open round 1. And does the Donovan Mitchell situation impact DeAndre Ayton and the Pacers? Join us at 7 a.m.
The Ride with JMV.
Are you kidding?
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
And the Reds last night gave you at least a reason to feel good for a night. And good for the Reds for doing that. I have not given them any credit whatsoever other than basically talking about how bad they are. So last night was good for them. There's no doubt. JMV at 1070thefan.com is the email address. JMV, it's funny. Do you ever get a break? It seems like you do a lot of talking during the break and then a lot of talking, obviously, during the segments of your show. Yeah, that's called making money for this place. And I basically am unchallenged in that category. So that's just what we do. That's part of the gig, brothers. Part of it. I try to change it up, though. I think I do a good job giving you the meat of the info and also kind of changing it up a little bit. We used to be able to watch. You guys used to comment on it inside the lounge via YouTube Live. It was like the camera would be on me. And sometimes I need some numbers help. Especially if there's a new deal, somebody's got a new offer, something like that. But most of the time, I've got this stuff down pretty good. I feel pretty good about it. I don't need a cheat sheet, crib notes, or a teleprompter or anything like that. I feel pretty good about it. No, I know the Reds are terrible, John. I do. They are terrible. But I think it's okay at last night, for example, to go, hey, good for them. Good for them. That's all we got to go for. That's all it is. It's good for them. JMV, I completely agree with you regarding Matherin. I'm trying not to get overly excited, but it seems like that he has a number of those qualities that will translate to being a good NBA scorer sooner rather than later. And I remember how you always talked about Pacer fans want to see a transition from hopeful to, all right, here's the evidence, it's happening sooner rather than later. I agree. That's why I said that. Absolutely. Is this music, Mac? Mac at 239-1070. How are you, buddy?
How are you doing?
Fantastic. Thank you for asking. It's been a long time. Well, I guess it hasn't been that long, has it? What has it been?
No,
a couple of weeks? Long. Checkered flag was our last stop, I think. Yeah. It's going. It's going to really get fired up here in the next month. There are going to be times we're going to be out of town, so get ready.
It's going to be awesome. I'm in the same boat you are, man. I can't see paying $8 in the max contract. The way the NBA is nowadays, I just don't think he's the type of big you want. You want somebody that's a little bit more versatile. And I don't know that some of these players we got from Boston aren't going to work out. That Feast might be a pretty good player.
Yeah, Matt, I'm just skeptical about $30+ million for your not this era conventional type of center. I mean, he's probably someplace between. I mean, honestly, Mac, he's probably someplace between Sabonis and Turner. And I'm not trying to compare him. People think that I'm comparing him. Well, you want to keep Turner because you like Turner. It has nothing to do with that. I just want to make sure that the Pacers make a good, sound decision, and I'm not quite down if this is going to be a sound decision. So that's where I've been the entirety of the time.
Just because we have the money, we don't need to spend it on this one guy, because you spend it on this one guy, if he doesn't work out, then where are we at?
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. People would jump off board pretty quick, and I also am skeptical. Mac, I'll see you out pretty soon. Thank you very much, brother. I'm very skeptical about going from a team that is in position to win, a good team, and why that didn't work out. I just think that there's some red flags that a lot of people don't see because they're thrilled that the Pacers are a part of this conversation and doing something that they haven't done in forever. Quick break and we'll come back. You and me on the other side. Kevin Bowman's going to be here too. Don't leave.
Bowling, bowling, bowling. Keep them balls a-rolling. Bowling, bowling, bowling. Royal Pin.
It's time to sign up for a league at any of the Royal Pin locations. They have leagues for beginners who just want to have fun and competitive leagues for longtime bowlers. All bowlers are welcome. Don't have a team? Don't worry. They'll match you up with a team. It's easy. Just sign up for a league at royalpin.com or stop into one of the centers. Plus, download the Open Lane app and become a rewards member. League bowlers get games for just $1.75 throughout the week, so don't wait to join.
Set them up, knock them down, send them flying, spinning round.
For more information, call 465-8484 or visit royalpin.com.
Royal Pin, bowling, bowling. Royal Pin, bowling.
Summer road readiness is important right now, and my friend Joe Childers at the 14 Central Indiana CarX locations gets it done for you right now. If you're out and about, AC inspection $19.99 to make sure everything is comfortable in your ride. Lifetime brake pads only $109.99 per axle. Also, you can save $200 off a set of 4 Continental tires. Hey, I know we're getting started to go downhill for the start of school, right? Got some last-minute vacations going down. Maintain summer travel road readiness at the 14 Central Indiana Joe Childers Run locations of CarX. To find the one nearest you, CarX.com today.
America's leading internet provider just got even faster. Switch to Spectrum Internet, and you now get starting speeds of up to 300 megabits per second. Faster speeds for streaming, faster speeds for gaming, faster speeds for working or learning, all with 99.9% network reliability. So no matter what you do online, you can do it better, safer, and now even faster with Spectrum Internet. Visit Spectrum.com for details. Based on internet subscribers among top ISPs, speeds may vary. Restrictions apply.
I'm Tom Shane. Growing up in a family of jewelers, I remember looking at gemstones alongside my father. I learned to appreciate their unique beauty and developed an eye for evaluating diamonds, rubies, and sapphires. To this day, I'm still examining gemstones. Throughout the year, I traveled to Bangkok, the gemstone capital of the world, to hand-select only the most beautiful rubies and 16 colors of sapphires for Shane Company. When I'm there, I never select stones on a cloudy day. Only with natural sunlight can I accurately evaluate the color and the stone's brilliance. I also oversee the cutting of each stone to maximize its inherent beauty. That's why our gemstones are more beautiful and vibrant than any other jewelers in town. Come in to find one that's perfect for you. Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
WIBC HD2 W298BB. WIBC HD3 W228CX. Indianapolis.
Baseball's best face-off in LA at the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. Tuesday night at 7 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
My vision is to take this team as the first franchise to the Saturn Football League and play against 8-foot gargoyles that run 3.8 speed.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Tony A's going to be here in the 5 o'clock hour. Brickyard prize package coming up, too. I got to get you a song to call for that re-entry coming up at some point, too. Dave writes this, JMV at 1070thefan.com. JMV, I like the game of Matherin, too, but not the way he carries himself. He comes off, oh, come on, man. Come on, seriously. I'm not even going to go on reading that. Andy Moore, Automotive Group Hotline. Sometimes things are better left unread. And joining us, and I'm sure knows that full well, from 7 until 10 a.m. on the morning show with Jay Query, Kevin Bowen is on the Andy Moore Automotive Group Hotline. How many times a day do you get halfway through an email and you go, I'm not even going to do it? Not even going to do it.
Yeah, I am curious. Was that a compliment or?
No, it's not. It's being a jackass is what it is. It's complete.
Got it.
It is just high level jackassery. Is exactly what it is.
See, I think you deal with more jackassery because it's 3 to 6. People are tired at the end of the day. They're looking to stir some, what up. Whereas from 7 to 10, for the most part, people can be relatively calm. Sure, I do find myself reading a tweet or two and being like, all right, why'd you even send this? But I think you deal with a higher level of it. High level of jackassery.
How many jackasses do you have inside your YouTube feed? Do you know them by name? Anybody? Call them out right here. We had one named Ryan D, and then there's a guy named Reed Porter that, and listen, I set the bar really low. Just don't be a crank. All right? Just don't be a crank. That's it. And you can't even abide by that.
Mark Dykton, he runs a tight ship in the YouTube chat.
No, does he?
If you,
we're pretty loose. We're pretty loose on our rules here, I think. So, I mean, I'm calling everybody names and everything in there, so I'm probably a little bit loose here.
Yeah, we got people that enjoy ripping the guests, which I don't know. I like to think that we have guests on that bring pretty good insight. But yeah, we definitely, one of those names that you mentioned sounds familiar in our YouTube chat.
Reed Porter. He is a complete jackass. I mean, of mammoth proportions.
Yeah, I do notice Reed's name in there.
There is no way this dude hadn't gone through life without getting his ass whipped a number of times. This is no way, unless you're just completely different here than where you are. So I guess that's admirable.
Yeah. I am probably more of a fan of just like let him be. I mean, hoot and holler and do whatever. But I think Mark uses the block button pretty frequently.
No, I don't think we have. We blocked Ryan D, and then we blocked a guy that faked like he was trying to sue me. I mean, he went the full way. Like he faked seriously, from Seattle or Tacoma, Washington, I think. He faked letterhead from an attorney and emailed it to us. That's how far this guy went. Yeah.
That sounds like Netflix series, something we could.
I'm going to ask,
Law and
too.
Order stuff right there.
You guys remember inside the lounge here what that dude's name was? Do you remember who he was? I mean, you talk about he made Reed Porter sound like a good dude. That's how big of a jackass this guy was.
Derek Platt from Seattle, Washington.
Platt faked letterhead from an actual attorney and sent it to me.
Now, do you block people on Twitter?
Nope, rarely. I think one time I did, maybe 10 years ago, when somebody threatened to kill me.
That's justified. Yeah. Justified.
The good luck with that, for one. But yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I don't want to have to deal with it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have a hot take going to try to get everybody going, and then kind of giggle about it afterwards. There are sometimes when I just kind of want to be away from it. I just want to have some fun, and being a jackass to people, or in return having people be a jackass to me, is not any fun to me. Now, others get down with that. Others get down because they feel they have to. That's just not me. And I think for 18 years, at least doing this, I've always had a pretty decent relationship with everybody and an understanding with that in mind. So I'm at a point where I just don't want to deal with it. So that's the way that it is.
I don't think I've blocked. Boy, I don't know. I'd probably have to look at it. There's no way I've blocked more than one or two people in the history of Twitter. I'm like, I mean, if you want to rip, you want to call me, like, do whatever. I get it. That's part of social media. You can hide behind that. But I always try to come at it too, John, from a standpoint of like, hey, and I'm hoping people start to realize this, like, nothing I say, I hope and I think, comes without thinking about it in some sort of form or fashion before I say it. Like, I'm not just going to say, what to say, what. And just to rile people up, or take a contrarian point of view and then hit the off button and we go to a break and be like, yeah, I didn't really mean that. I just decided to say it. That's just not my MO. I know that's kind of shock jock and a little bit of maybe what you see on a first take or something like that, but that's just not how I've wanted to go about things.
Yeah, and Reed's all been out of shape now. He's been out of shape inside the lounge. I've told him to piss off a number of times, and he continues to listen, so I don't know what more we have to do. So, I've said, man, you can bounce. Nobody's going to miss your dumb ass. And he's still there. So, I don't know if that's just me. He just I guess he likes looking at me, which is cool, because I do too.
Well,
who doesn't?
You do wear some cool T-shirts. It's always a good thing to check in on the hair, see how the hair's holding up, and yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, somebody called me Fat Dracula the other day, and I changed my part because I'm very sensitive. I'm overly sensitive. I can't. Fat Dracula. When I was called that motivated me to go home and change my part.
Yeah, I heard you say that, and I laughed very, very hard at that.
Hey, I mentioned this at the outset, and I know because you have, I call them sports arousals, and I started to get a bit of a sports arousal semi out of Benedict Mathurin. Because I know what Rick Carlisle, because you've been, I know, very outspoken about your love for him coming out of Arizona in the draft. I was listening to Rick Carlisle last night, I'm sure you were too, about what he had to say where he's already an NBA level scorer. While I think that's true, I think we all expected him to be able to shoot it, right? And he has. But man, here's what I love that you just don't get from a lot. He's fearless in driving, and he not only gets to the contact, but he finishes through the contact. And you don't often see that from a player that age. And that's something to me that's going to get better and better. And I love it. I absolutely love that.
Yeah, that's the thing that stood out to me the most. And you are correct. I've had to call my doctor with my sports arousal, Benedict Mathurin, here over the past couple of months. And I think the Summer League has really only confirmed that for me. When he left Arizona, the thought was, a great shooter, hits contested shots. I think we've seen that. I think he's just a hair under 40% from three in the Summer League. Athleticism-wise, you knew that was there. Everybody saw the highlight of him in the NCAA tournament with that dunk against TCU. But I'm with you, John. The driving ability, the willingness to drive, finishing at the rim at the level that he has as well. Last night, what do you have? 10 foul shots, and he didn't even play 20 minutes. That's just something that I feel like the Pacers have struggled to find easy buckets. And when Mathurin gets to the rim, again, he is a willing driver. He's finishing through contact. But if he can turn that into routine trips to the foul line, now all of a sudden you're creating a little bit of easy. And I don't feel like the Pacers have done a good enough job with that in recent years. I don't think they've had great drivers of the basketball, great finishers at the rim. And I think Mathurin has shown that. So I really I get it. It's Summer League. I really like what I've seen. I think you see a little bit of the edge. I think you see a guy that, has a chance to, be a nice defensive piece as well. Probably still needs a little bit of work there, but I do think he can help you out on that end. And I don't think Rick Carlisle just says stuff, again, to say it. When he calls him an NBA-level scorer right now, I think he truly means it. And if you look at what Mathurin's done so far in the Summer League, he's averaging, right around 20 points a game, and he's playing like 20 minutes a game.
It's a Kevin Bowen morning show. Kevin and Query, 7 until 10 a.m. here on The Fan. He's with us via the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. So you'd mentioned what Carlisle had to say. He brought up a point about with Halliburton. Now NBA free agents will want to come here. I don't quite believe all of that. But a lot of people felt that maybe he was talking about somebody in particular. I didn't think he was talking about at all DeAndre Ayton. I think what you said is accurate. He just kind of gets and starts talking, and he was just kind of talking right there as well. Do you think anything was behind that particular comment last night?
Yeah, I didn't read as much into that as maybe I read into some others. What attracts players in the NBA to certain destinations? I don't know, again, if Halliburton would be atop that list, but I do think, especially if you're a big guy and you realize how much the pick and roll is used in today's NBA, if there are a couple teams that are, even with you, the attraction of playing with a guy like Tyrese Halliburton, who is a pass-first guard and has unbelievable vision and unbelievable basketball IQ, I do think that could be a great selling point. Again, it might not be the deciding factor. Money, weather, city, where you've lived in the country, which in Ayton's case, he's lived nowhere close to Indianapolis at all in his high school years or college years or NBA years either. So I think those might be other selling points. But, similar to a quarterback in NFL free agency, if you're a wide receiver, I do think that can be something that, all right, I'm going to go to Indiana. I'm going to get a guy have a guy as a point guard who is not a score-first guard, and he gets others involved, and I think he can play really well with a guy that attacks the rim like Ayton does, finishes, a very high-level athlete, all of those things. So I probably don't put it 1 or 2 on the list, but I do think that is one of the few areas where Indiana can point to and say, hey, we've got a point guard that's going to get others involved, and that would be attractive to potential free agents.
It's Kevin Bone with us. I brought this up. What is the percentage you think of those that are completely down and you got to do it right now and will rip, like me, for example, that I throw up a red flag or two and I'm skeptical about DeAndre Ayton, over $30 million per, coming here and being a centerpiece of this team. Do you think that there are many Pacer fans out there that are down with a deal like that just because the Pacers are involved for the first time in forever with a deal like that?
Yeah, that's a good question. I would say a high percentage. It's funny, I had a group text my buddies a couple of days ago, and Ayton was brought up, and one of them mentioned no, and the other one mentioned yes. When do the Pacers get mentioned with a player of his stature? But yeah, I would say that's a very high percentage of it. I've made the analogy of centers in the NBA to running backs in the NFL. Like, without question, Jonathan Taylor makes the Colts a better football team than if you didn't have him on your roster. And I think DeAndre Ayton would make the Pacers a better basketball team, certainly. But I think there are concerns about, creating that position as the number one option. And if you looked at teams that, made runs last year in the NBA playoffs, they did not need or feel the need for that sort of player. If you look at the Dallas series, which Phoenix lost, obviously Ayton's presence wasn't felt really in critical moments at all in that series. So I think the pros of it are he would make you better. I think him and Halliburton together would be a really, really effective duo. If you look at it financially, I can understand people that say, who else or where else are you going to spend the money on? I just worry about investing too much into that position, building your team too much around that. So now, if you feel like you've got to force-feed Ayton, are you stunting a guy like Mathurin a little bit and not giving him the opportunity to grow? Maybe you help him because maybe there is a little bit of a, hey, we've got to watch out for Ayton because he is going to be pretty good low post guy. But at the end of the day, I just don't think you spend $30+ million on a center. Plus, it sounds like if this is going to happen, a sign and trade would probably be the most likely, and that means you're going to have to give up some of those assets that I still think you need to complete this rebuild.
It's Kevin Bone with us. How do you view Duarte from a year ago? Because it's funny, we went through the entirety of a year, and I think most people were pretty thrilled. And now we're at a point now where either, somebody had watched Moody for Golden State in the Summer League throw in 34 or 35 points. And now we're at a point where people think that the Pacers made a mistake with Duarte in that draft a year ago. Where are you with that?
I was more pro Moody than Duarte last year in the draft because, and you and I had this conversation a few months ago, I'm more of a, when you're in the lottery, you take a bigger swing for the fence, and I thought Duarte was a little bit on the safer side. But I do think, John, it's odd that, I sense just, I don't know, a little bit of negativity with Duarte or just people, acting like, oh, throw him in this trade, throw him in that trade. By no means would he be untouchable if I were the Pacers. But if Chris Duarte is your fifth starter, you are a fine basketball team. He can shoot the ball at a really high level. He makes tough shots. And I think he'd be a nice complement alongside a Halliburton and a Mathurin if you're kind of formulating what your 1, 2, and 3 spot would look like. We'll see where Aaron Nesmith and fits in. And obviously you still have Buddy Hield, so Buddy Hield would impact things, but I'm looking a little bit more towards the future. But yeah, I don't understand necessarily the Duarte, it just seems like people have really soured on him. And, he's going to be a nice player for you for 5 years. And, I mean, look at the fifth starter on the vast majority of NBA teams. I think Chris Duarte's name would compare quite well to a lot of those guys. I like how he's wired as well. And again, I think with what you have in Halliburton and Mathurin, I think he'd be a nice fit as more of a really stretch the floor, be more of that kind of consistent three-point shooter for you. which I think is an area where this team has struggled in the past couple seasons.
All right, Kev, where you have a 25-win team, and there's not a great deal of hope for a lot more wins this coming year as to what we saw last year, you often get into debates like this as far as the roster positions deeply on a team. Where do you stand with Terry Taylor? Because I like when Terry Taylor gets out there. I do. But a lot of people would suggest if he's a part of it, he doesn't have really a position. And where do you stand on Terry Taylor being more than just a year guaranteed to be a part of this team? You on board with that?
I like him as my 11th guy. He produces. I also think we probably have to keep in mind that, he was thrown into a situation last year where no one else was, available at times for you, so he just had to play minutes. And, Summer League is still Summer League. And I think when you get into an NBA season and you're playing a little bit more of formidable forces at the rim on a night-in, night-out basis, I just don't know how effective 6'6" and 6'7" can be for you. And I think the other question you have to ask is, where does he get minutes? I mean, I don't see anything perimeter-oriented with him. So if you're looking at, let's just count everybody on the roster right now, Jalen Smith and Miles Turner as your starters. Your backups at those positions, probably O'Shea Brissett, Isaiah Jackson, maybe Goga. I mean, those 5 guys for kind of the 4 and 5 spots. Maybe I'm forgetting somebody. I guess Daniel Tice I'm forgetting as well. I don't know where Terry Taylor fits into that. So he's fun to watch. I mean, he every time I see him play, I think, what a great, mid-major big guy. What a great 6'6", 6'7", rebound the hell out of it. If you don't block him out completely, he's going to wiggle his way in there. But over an 82-game season, I just don't know if, he needs to be your 7th or 8th man.
So Kevin Bowen, 1075thefan.com, where he writes stuff still, a lot of stuff. And then the morning show, Kevin and Query, 7 until 10 a.m. weekday mornings here on The Fan. He's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. I will preface this next question by saying it is absolutely stupid and maybe one of the more dumb things I have said. And while there's no real truth to it, I do find myself thinking about it a little bit. It is how much, and it's Summer League, but it's how much more entertaining this NORAD-led offense has been than the first year of Carlisle being back here this past year. I know nobody's thought about that besides me. Do I need help?
I think it was on my end, but you were breaking up just a little bit. How much better the offense has been?
It's more enjoyable to watch. I mean, I've been really, really thrilled with watching NORAD's offense as the head coach, more so than I was with even Carlisle as the head coach of the Pacers last year.
Gotcha. I think something Carlisle related, I think this is kind of a prove-it time for him, John. I mean, Rick Carlisle didn't win a playoff series the final, 9-10 years he was in Dallas, and then he leaves, and Dallas goes on, a pretty impressive playoff run. Now, part of that is Luka maturing into, an unquestioned star in the league, sure. But I think we are a ways away from Carlisle coaching successful playoff teams in the NBA. I mean, you got to go back to the 2000s for that. It's a much different era of basketball. So as much as the personnel needed tweaking as well, again, I think this is a big year for Rick Carlisle to, show that, all right, you can take some strides. Because as much as we love to rip Nate Bjorkgren, and there are certainly reasons to do it, in a COVID year with a whole lot of absences as well, that basketball team, largely the same, won many more games than they did last season. So I do think that it is certainly on the coaching staff to take strides. If you look at how poor the Pacers were in close games last year, personnel obviously influences a lot of that, but when you think about how many timeouts you see in a final minute of an NBA game, dialing something up on either end of the floor happens all throughout that final minute. You rarely get flow of an offensive possession and a defensive trip down the floor without a stoppage in the final minute. Some of that's on your coaching staff and what they can draw up and things like that. So I just feel like we hear Rick Carlisle and we're like, oh, yeah, top 5 NBA head coach. I don't know if the resume screams that over the last 10 years. So
you don't think that question was altogether that stupid? Then is what I gather.
No,
and you could tell me. Be honest.
No, I don't think it's stupid. I think it's a tad stupid to maybe look at Ronald Nora's offense and like summer league to the real NBA. To me, it's just not apples to apples.
Oh, I know.
Last night, but I think the basis of, if you were going to say who are the top 5 coaches in the NBA, you would have, I think, a lot of people say Carlisle, and I'm thinking to myself, boy, I certainly didn't feel that last year. And ask people in Dallas if they felt it over the last decade. And I get there are other circumstances that have impacted that, but I think it's a very important time for him to prove it, that coaching staff to prove it, because they didn't help this team out in a lot of those close situations last year, late in games.
I know you got to run here. What'd you guys get on the show tomorrow morning?
We have Bob Kravitz on tomorrow. Did you see Kravitz's latest?
I didn't. What is it about? What does it entail?
He talked with your guy Brian Evans, Jared Jeffries, a few other Knight era players, and basically I thought got a very candid response from many of them on IU basketball and the program standing really since Mike Davis took over on the interim basis. It was an enjoyable read. I thought it was a pretty honest read. I'm trying to think. Jeffries, Evans, there were 2 or 3 others.
Evans is going to bring an opinion. There's no doubt about that. People forget about just how good Brian Evans was. I constantly want to remind them of that.
Yeah, and I'm probably one of those. Now, granted, I was pretty young when he was playing, but when I do talk to people kind of about that era, they frequently remind me of how good he was.
And by the way, Jeff Newton, before you go, is the most underappreciated IU basketball player of all time. Yes or no?
In my era, yes, I would say he would be on that list. And it's funny, a big-time IU, big-time supporter, guy that, follows it all, whatnot. When that Malik Renault committed, back about a month or 2 ago, I was talking back and forth with him. I'm like, does he remind you of anybody? He said Jeff Newton, which I thought was a pretty nice compliment. And I think if that IU team could get a little Jeff Newton out of them this year while Trace Jackson-Davis and Race Thompson hold down the starting lineup, that'd be a nice front court.
All right, tomorrow morning, Bob Kravitz and more with Kevin and Query. That begins at 7 a.m., by the way, with Mark Dykton, too, at 7 a.m. 7 until 10 a.m. here tomorrow morning on The Fan. All right, my brother, I appreciate you. We'll do it again next week.
Yep, good luck with the cranks in the lounge.
Oh, the cranks in the lounge. We got the good ones. We got mostly the cranks. There's only 2 real cranks. Everybody else is just kind of, when they say it's an endearing term when they call me a fat middle-aged Eddie Munster or fat Dracula. That's just kind of an endearing term.
Yeah, that's a big-time compliment you want to hear.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you.
See ya.
It's Bowen on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. I've got time for some calls on the other side. You guys want to dial it up at 239-1070 a little bit? What we had talked about. I know the NORAD Carlisle question. I told you. I prefaced it by saying this is the dumbest question you're going to hear all day. But I could not help, and I know the differences. I could not help having that feeling. I had that feeling. I did. But I told you it was going to be dumb. See, when you say that, then you don't have to own it, right? So I'm kind of playing you a little bit. When you say that, then you don't have to own it. It's like when you say I tell the truth all the time. Yeah, that's already a huge red flag as to probably you don't if you have to tell everybody you do, right? Huge red flag. Tony East, top of the hour. Don't leave.
It's Kevin and Query.
I'm a big fan of what the Pacers have done so far. By no means am I saying this is a team that's going to finish 4th or 5th in the East, But now all of a sudden you look at this roster, and with Halliburton, Matherin, Chris Duarte, Jalen Smith, that provides you some intrigue. It's a little bit more present-day NBA. Now you've got a really youthful team of lottery picks. I'm very intrigued by what the Pacers have done.
Kevin and Query.
Weekday mornings at 7
on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hi guys, are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? Well, today, Wednesday, July 13th, we're running an unprecedented one-day special. Pine Grove Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. This is a technology clinically shown to repair blood vessels and improve blood flow. My favorite part is that we can get rid of your erectile dysfunction without any pills or side effects. If you're ready to regain your love life, grab your phone. Today is your day. Call us now and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. Also, a gift that can produce powerful results in the bedroom in minutes. You're going to love that. And today only, we're offering 5 tune-up treatments to our patients free. This is our most lucrative offer ever, and it's only good today, Wednesday, July 13th. 317-552-1111. That's 317-552-1111. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and see what can happen in your relationship. Call Pine Grove Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 317-552-1111.
Hey, let's go with the best. Always the best. JMV here for Ray's Trash Service. The best in waste disposal and recycling. That's why from Butler to Victory Field, that's why everybody, all the big folks, they use Ray's Trash Service, and you should too. And by the way, if you want a new career, if you're a driver, you have a commercial driver's license, you sport that bad boy, let's do something about it. You like great pay, incredible benefits with a great company, in fact, that has been around and family operated since the 1960s. Let's motivate a little bit right here and go with the best. That's Ray's Trash Service for a driver or a non-driving gig to start that new career. You can apply online today, and don't forget to go with the best in waste disposal and recycling. That's at raystrash.com now.
Hellsberg Diamonds presents The Guy Who Found the Perfect Ring. Jake needed an engagement ring, so he did his research, asked his fiance's best friends for advice.
She wants emerald cut. Definitely.
And he went to Hellsberg Diamonds. Jake knew that Hellsberg's been in business for over 100 years. That means quality. And with their price match guarantee, he'd get a great deal. And she'd get the ring she's always wanted.
Way to go, Jake.
So be like Jake. Find the ring of her dreams at a Hellsberg Diamonds near you or at Hellsberg.com.
Hey, anybody out there in the market, maybe for a new home? Downsizing, just maybe as well? You're thinking about who you should go with, because this can be a bit of a nerve-wracking experience. At least it would be for me. But alas, it wouldn't be, because I go with the absolute best. That's Mark Dietel of Mark Dietel Realty. In fact, I can tell you this. Somebody actually tweeted at me yesterday and said, hey, I had reached out to Mark and I hadn't gotten a response yet. Can you help? I absolutely helped. And Mark got right on it and got right with them. And you know what? He's going to get the job done right for them. He is the best in realty. I mean, truly cares. He's going to get the job done right for you at 317-755-4232. 317-755-4232. That's markdietel.com. MarkDietel.com today. Keep in mind, he's going to guarantee you multiple offers in 3 days for full market value, or he will list it for free. It's Mark Dietel, 317-755-4232. That's online, markdietel.com, markdietel.com today.
Hubler has all the top brands: Chevy, Buick, GMC, Ford, Acura, Honda, Mazda, Nissan, and more. And every new vehicle includes a 10-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Looking to sell your vehicle? We'll pay you top dollar, even if you don't buy ours. Take it from Brooke Hubler.
You can get a car anywhere, but you can only get a warranty like this at Hubler. 10 years, 200,000 miles.
Visit drivehubler.com. Hubler has it all. Warranty available on new vehicles except certain models, not transferable or available on leases. A copy of the warranty is available for review at the dealership.
Hey, Dan Dockage here for the Michaelis Corporation. When you need them, you will be out. So glad they are there for you. They have been there for me when my house needed emergency restoration and when I had planned renovations at my house. And they are there for me sponsoring the segment in the Fan Cave and the hole-in-one contest at my golf outing. If you get water in your basement, they can be there for you as well. Water, storms, fire, and foundations, life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it. 844-FIX-INDY.
Hey, now is the time to save better. JMV here for the best in advice and managing your money. That's Forum Credit Union. Gas prices, food prices, all on the rise. No doubt about that. Let's all learn, and I'm right there with you, how to better budget our money, how to better save our money. And Forum Credit Union, always coming up with those original ideas and the great advice to help you out. So stop by a branch location today. Tell them I sent you. Or for more info right now on better ways to save, that's forumcu.com.
No voting machines connected to the internet. Voter identification required.
You hear a lot about voter security lately. The state of Indiana has more than 20 security procedures in place. These are just a few to ensure that all votes are secure and accurately counted.
Machines not interconnected. Homeland Security.
Okay, that's a lot. So you can rest assured that in Indiana, your vote is private, protected, and accurately recorded. You can count on it. Sponsored by the Indiana Secretary of State, this station, and the Indiana Broadcasters Association.
There's never been a better time to look at a cash-out refinance. Apply online today at thehomeloanexpert.com. NMLS number 1326241.
It's Kevin and Query.
I'm a big fan of what the Pacers have done so far. By no means am I saying this is a team that's going to finish 4th or 5th in the East. But now all of a sudden you look at this roster, and with Halliburton, Matherin, Chris Duarte, Jalen Smith, that provides you some intrigue. It's a little bit more present-day NBA. Now you've got a really youthful team of lottery picks. I'm very intrigued by what the Pacers have done.
Kevin and Query.
Weekday mornings at 7
on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
This will be the high point of my day. It's all downhill from here.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
I'm going to let you have a little Robert Plant on this re-entry right here. Soak it up. Soak it up. Kevin Bowen, Podcast 1075thefan.com. Brickyard prize package coming up. I got to give you a song re-entry for you to listen for coming up. Chance to win practice tickets, race day tickets before the end of this show, and Tony East is going to pop on here coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. Inside the Lounge via YouTube Live, Facebook Live, you got us there as well. Yeah, I get some pictures from the fam. You guys have asked me about how everybody's doing in Colorado. I was left behind to hang out with Zeke, the crazy cat. They are in and around Colorado Springs right now. And I believe they're doing something they're running, I think. Running trails and them running. Hey, I want to go on vacation to run. No wonder I didn't go. I said, I'll just stay here with the crazy cat, all right? I'm not going to go run. Let's go on vacation and run. I go on vacation to pass out in a pool. JMV, I know I'm in the minority here, but I think the Pacers signing DeAndre Ayton to a max contract is a one-way ticket right back to the treadmill of mediocrity. My hot take prediction is that if the Pacers get Ayton, they will not make it out of the first round of the playoffs the entire time he is here. Casey in Ellisville. It is okay, no matter what anybody says, to be skeptical about it, because the most people get mad at me because they think that I'm arguing that Miles should stay, and I'm not. Or I'm arguing Miles is better than Ayton. I'm not. Has zero to do with Miles. It has everything to do with paying somebody $30+ million per and making that person the centerpiece. And we talked to Bobby Marks yesterday. He was as skeptical about that as I am, as you are. There's nothing wrong with it. I know that he's a good player. 17-9 is fine. It is a good player. I would also argue that a lot of people, much like I asked Kevin Bowen when he was on last segment, are pretty excited about this whole thing because the Pacers are involved in something they haven't been involved with in a long time. Makes you feel good. Well, wait a minute. There's a player that may be interested in coming here. Why does he not, again, fit the whole mold with a team that's on the verge in Phoenix? I mean, there are reasons why you can be skeptical about it. Shane Palmer writes this: I don't see how Ayton makes us that much better or how that works with future plans for the Pacers. I think he is a good player. I just am Unsure if he is going to make this team what you want it to be with his skill set. And nothing wrong with being skeptical about that. Jerome is at 239-1070. Hello, Jerome.
Hey, my friend, how you doing today?
I'm great, man. How are you?
I go along with everything you usually say, but I do have a question.
Okay.
Number one, I don't have a problem with Ayton if you're surrounding him with this new batch of Pacers. The old batch of Pacers that were soft, you gotta ask yourself. And I don't dislike Miles Turner, but Miles Turner's soft. Ayton kicked the center's butt for the Lakers in the playoffs. I mean, you wore him out. When can you say that Miles Turner's ever outplayed a center in any playoff situation? My question about that is it $30 million a lot to pay for Ayton? Absolutely. But he's a young player. He's going to play with heart. He's playing with Halliburton. And as far as what we have to give up, I'm telling you now, the kid from Boston is going to be a steal. He might be as good as Duarte is right now, Naismith. Just give him a chance. My other concern with us changing the image on the Pacers is, and Jay, I want you to look at this, and I want you to tell me what you think the next time you see it.
Okay.
They show all the Pacers at the Summer League. They show Rick Carlisle sitting on the bench. Everybody's joking because he has on these high-water jeans, and it's a laugh. Then there's a caption of Miles Turner. Miles Turner is doing a handstand on top of a rock with booty shorts on, with his legs in the splits, talking about the air is fresh. That's the last thing we need. We're trying to change to a strong image. You got that picture out there. I'm telling you, it looks like a picture they would use for bait on the Catch a Predator. You got to look at the picture, man. Unbelievable. This is your center.
Here's how I'd respond to that, and this is the advice I would give you. I wouldn't consider any of what you said about Miles as a determining factor as how you feel about Ayton being the guy getting paid over $30 million per season here. I mean, just take Miles out of the equation. Take his play, take his rebound and his scoring, take his look, how he dresses, all that out of the equation. Just ask yourself if you truly believe that $30 million plus for DeAndre Ayton is going to be in the direction in which you want to see this team go. If he is that type of guy that needs to be paid that much on this team that is going through a soft rebuild. That's all I ask. And then ask yourself as well, why, if Phoenix is on the doorstep out west, why are they so cool with letting this guy walk?
I have another question about that.
Yeah.
I'm on the fence. With the salary cap going up, I don't mind paying him. But you know what scares me the worst is?
What's that?
Say we don't get DeAndre Ayton. We got that $30 million cap space. Would it shock you, knowing who Kevin Pritchard is, if you look up at the end of the season and, wow, we got Gordon Hayward? You can see that coming. You can see that coming. That's the kind of stuff that Kevin Pritchard would do.
I'm incredibly skeptical about that. I don't know about that, Jerome, but yeah, I wouldn't be down with that program either. So no, but I just listen. Just take, as I mentioned, take Miles completely out of the equation, out of it, and then you ask yourself if you think this is good or you like it because they're, actually a part of something that they haven't been a part of in a long time, because he's a guy that seemingly everybody seems to think he wants to be here. It seems like that this is one of the few places where he can go, and it seems like that the team that is on that doorstep out west is trying to find every avenue, and it did before Durant was available, trying to find every avenue to get rid of him.
Here's my thing. Honestly, I would take a chance on Ayton because I honestly think with this young core, we could be a play-in team this year. Another thing I don't understand, where's all the hate for Buddy Hield for? That guy can start on a playoff team. The Lakers want him. Other teams want him. Everybody's looking at his contract. Buddy Hield's a ball player, man. He is a ball player, and everybody keeps talking about, oh, we need to get rid of Buddy. Buddy's 20 points a game on this team, man. Find somebody else better than Buddy that we can get for that price right now.
Jerome, appreciate your call. You call again soon. I don't mind Buddy Hield. I haven't heard a lot of people suggest that they're ready for Buddy Hield to leave. The only thing I saw is the Lakers did have a bit of interest in Buddy Hield. That was last week. But I haven't seen a lot of that where people say, you got to get rid of this guy. Why do you want this guy? Royce writes this, I don't get caught up in the money, $30 million. They paid $28 million for Buddy Hield. Remember, the Kings traded the starting point guard to the Pacers. I'm just ask yourself some of those questions and take Miles out of it. $30 million is going to be your counted on centerpiece for a number of years. It doesn't seem like that there are a lot of landing spots for him out there. Sometimes you can view it as more of a convenience than anything else. And Phoenix, even before Durant was available, they were on the move. They didn't believe in him. Didn't offer him that longer-term deal. So why, if it didn't work there for them, why does it work here? They have some really good players there, by the way. All right, Bill, before the break at 239-1070. Hello, Bill.
Hey, JMV. I agree with the last caller. I would actually like to see Ayton here, and the reason why is because there's a couple of centers that he would match up really well with, I think, in the East, and one of them is Joel Embiid, and the other one is Adebayo from down in Miami, and you're not getting past those two teams without having a strong defensive presence on those two guys. I think he could do a fairly decent job with that. And the way that it seems like Larry Bird has operated, there was a time when Robert Parrish played for the San Francisco Warriors, and they lost faith in him and everything, and traded him to Boston for Joe Barry Carroll from Purdue. They drafted Joe Barry Carroll. He was supposed to be the answer. Robert Parrish goes on to team with the Dennis Johnson, of course, Larry Bird, Danny Ainge to win a whole lot of rings. So, just because one team gives up on somebody doesn't mean that it can't make it work there. And I've always thought that Larry Bird views the center position like Red Auerbach did with the Celtics, where he tries to get a Robert Parrish type player. We already got a Dennis Johnson type player. That's Halliburton. But I think that's the way that Larry Bird that he operates.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd want a Robert Parrish type of player in this era, though. I think you still have to look at that differently. Oh, in that era, it was perfect. With that group, it was perfect. I mean, listen, and part of what I'm thinking, I guess I view the supporting cast and how they're going to help make this guy even more of a superstar, even better than what he is right now. I guess if you can't do it in Phoenix with that better supporting cast, and they don't want him around, I wonder why that's going to be different here.
Well, it's different scenery, different motivation, and we'll see. I mean, there's some players, a la Corey Simon, if you remember him from the Colts, where you give a bunch of money to and then they just don't show up at all, or you're going to try to. You're going to try to build your legacy. You're going to try to help a team and try to get to a championship. And I think that Ayton could probably help us do that, only because he matches up with these two big centers. And I agree with the fact that I think that we really fleeced Boston in the Malcolm Brogdon. I think we're going to be laughing about that around Thanksgiving time.
Billy, I appreciate you always, man. Couple of weeks, we're going to be back out again. You know that.
Back in the saddle again. We'll see you then.
All right, brother. Billy. Hey, JMV, quick off-topic question. What's the theme for Saturday night on the JMV Takeover? It is they occasionally do this, and I think I'm going to go ahead and go the entirety of Saturday night. It's the best of the 90s, and what they do next door, they'll do, the best of the 90s, but not all 90s. I do all 90s. So I think I'm going to do 6 hours of 90s on Saturday night. What do you guys think? I think I'm going to go 6 hours of the 90s. Thank you for asking, though. One team out of 30 is one without a center. The narrative that you can't win with a center in today's NBA just does not make sense to me. Well, first of all, I'm not talking about the Pacers like winning a title with him right now. You just want to know that you can grow into a team that can get past the first round of the postseason one of these days. I know Looney was a center, but look what they have around him. I know that Robert Williams, he's not your average center. Look what they have around him. You always have to look what they have around him. I mean, hell, if that's the case, why is Phoenix so easily cool with letting him go? Listen, I'm just asking these questions. Everybody gets so hurt about me not being on board with this. I don't understand that part of it, I guess. It just seems like everybody thinks this is so great because, hey, they're doing it. That's great. Hey, Bill might be right, too. Maybe he comes here, wipes the slate clean. Everything is good. Completely reinvents himself. Listen, if that's the direction they go, I hope that happens. It's weird, though, because everybody throws up red flags and are skeptical at everything the Pacers do, and it seems like everybody except a few are completely on board with this.
Could it be similar? I mean, when Victor Oladipo was brought here, he was not expected to do anything, and he kind of transformed himself, and he was an All-NBA guy pretty quickly before the injury. Fresh start.
Well, I think that Ayton's already in a higher position than Oladipo was in OKC,
no
and
doubt.
Sabonis was an afterthought there. So he's already in a.
The new spot thing. I mean, that we've seen it once here. Why can't it happen again?
All right, and I know you're pro. Before the break, and we'll come back with your calls, but give me one reason of skepticism that you would have.
One reason of skepticism.
And by the way, everybody, in case you did not know, Kyle here, our producer and friend of the show, right across from me, is completely on board with Ayton. But give me one skepticism as to, maybe I don't know completely about this.
The only reason I'd be skeptical is he's just looking for the max, and he's using the Pacers for the max. And then a year, maybe two down the road, he says, I don't want to be in Indiana. Trade me.
Well, I would get with the using them for the max. It just seems like, all right, where can I get a max? I want the max, and there's not too many landing spots out there.
NBA players now in this era, it's let me get my money, and I'll worry about getting traded when I want to get traded in a year or two.
We'll come back with that on the other side, too. If you're on hold, I'll get to you. Tony East, top of the hour. Brickyard tickets we'll give away a little bit later on, too. I'll give you that song you need to listen to or listen for as well with your cue to call. 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Rob Zombie and Mudvayne are coming to Ruoff Music Center Thursday, July 21st. Visit 1075thefan.com/contest to register to win tickets today.
Hey, Indiana. It's Mark from Kevin and Query, and with baseball season in full swing, there's no better place to bet on America's pastime than FanDuel Sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in free bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. All you have to do is sign up with promo code MARK to get in on the action. FanDuel lets you bet the money line, home run props, strikeout totals, and so much more. Plus, you can now combine your bets for an even bigger payday with a same-game parlay. If you haven't tried FanDuel yet, now's the perfect time to give it a shot. Just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app today and use promo code MARK to turn a $5 bet into $150 in free bets, win or lose. Once again, that's promo code MARK, M-A-R-C, exclusively on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Must be 21 and over in Indiana. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is now withdrawable free bets that expire 14 days after receipt. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
New set of wheels is what you're looking for. Hey, go with the absolute best. I want you to contact my friend Eric Wilson. Make sure you tell Eric that I sent you. And if you're thinking about a new ride, you want it absolutely hassle-free. And know that the first obstacle with a lot of places is making sure they have the inventory. But Indiana's Best, that's Andy Moore Buick GMC in Fishers, they have the inventory. For example, if you're looking for a brand new GMC Acadia, my fam and the fam's friends love it. So will yours. Great pricing and availability right now, which is what you're looking for, and the absolute best service after this sale. So if you're looking for a new set of wheels, one-stop shopping with my friend Eric Wilson and Indiana's Best. Andy Moore Buick GMC, location 131st State Road 37. It's in Fishers.
At Eskenazi Health, our patients are treated with compassion and skill. That's why Eskenazi Health is looking for professionals who share our mission and are dedicated to serving the community. As an employee of Indiana's top hospital for social responsibility and community health investment, you'll enjoy excellent benefits, competitive pay, and unwavering leadership support. Learn more about Eskenazi Health careers online at eskenazihealth.edu/careers.
NASCAR and
weekend IndyCar action return for Brickyard Weekend at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Saturday, July 30th, catch a doubleheader featuring the NTT IndyCar Series Gallagher Grand Prix, followed by the NASCAR Xfinity Series Pennzoil 150. Then Sunday, the 31st, the NASCAR Cup Series Verizon 200 at the Brickyard. Experience the roar and power of NASCAR and the speed and precision of IndyCar in one exciting family-friendly race weekend. Kids 15 and under get in free. Get your tickets now at ims.com.
JMV here, and plumbing needs. You don't really think about them that often, right? Until you are hit up with an emergency. That's why you got to go with the absolute best. That's why you have to have a number and a person handy. That's where Lance and his local team at LD Smith Plumbing come into play here. They're the absolute best, and believe me, I've used them in emergencies before. I've told you that story going back, couple of years now. In February, below zero temps, couldn't deal with it, no running water. I called 317-284-9526. Lance and his local team got out there. Everything was good. So really, yeah, anything plumbing, no doubt, but always with a plumbing emergency. When you just don't have time to mess around here, just go with the best. It's LD Smith Plumbing. Lance and his local team at 317-284-9526. Online, that's ldsmithplumbing.com today.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. Credit card debt in the U.S. has hit an all-time high of $930 billion. And while most folks are struggling to get through the month wondering which bills to pay, the greedy credit card companies are making record profits. Your home is probably worth more than ever before, and that equity is just sitting there. There's never been a better time to look at a cash-out refinance. Apply online today at thehomeloanexpert.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
JMV here. You guys have been talking about it inside the lounge, haven't you? You guys are listening right now. We're not on right now inside the lounge, at least with the video, but you guys are listening, and you've been pointing out my hair. In fact, I forget, was it LMB that had mentioned that, yeah, maybe you should go bald? No. I get my hair cut every week. It is awesome the way that PAI has done my hair. I love it. Now, if you want to go bald, go bald. But if you have the option and you want to take that option of your real growing hair, boom, there you go. 888-724-5129. Hey, look at me. I can style it. I'm going all the way back like I'm 1983. Seriously. I could go with the Steve Alford feathered hair butt cut part right down the middle. I could do that right now just like I did when I went to Command Performance in the College Mall back in 1983, and Debbie cut my hair. I said, give me the Alford butt cut. Boom, there it was. I could have that right now because I wanted the option to have that right now. Real growing hair with PAI. Darren Andrews today, 888-724-5129 or WeGrowHairAndy.com. Today.
Sip and save at Circle K with our great new drink subscription. Join Sip and Save today and enjoy one drink a day every day for just $5.99 a month. Enjoy your favorite Circle K ice cold fountain drink, Froster, or freshly ground coffee every day. That's 30 drinks a month for only $5.99. So sip and save at Circle K. Sign up in store or at CircleK.com. Circle K. Take it easy.
Big Red Liquors Big Gas Giveaway. This month, Big Red Liquors is giving away 4 $500 gas cards. Yes, you could win a $500 gas card. Stop in at any Big Red Liquors to enter. It's free. Must be 21 to enter. No purchase necessary.
The NTT IndyCar Series races through the streets of Toronto. Sunday at 3 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
Look at all those ding-dongs.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Yeah, if you guys were listening there during the break, I could go to Command Performance like it's 1983 right now in the Bloomington College Mall, and I could tell Debbie, who was ready to cut my hair, give me the Steve Alford. I wanted the Steve Alford back in the day. I wanted feathered hair, parted down the middle, comb in the back pocket. I could have that right now if I wanted to. Anybody else out there back in the mid-1980s asked for the Steve Alford? Oh, the Alford was a big deal back in the day. Get that today. Feathered hair. Command Performance. They set you right there in that window in the mall right next to LS Airs and let everybody walk by and look at you. Hey, look at Debbie. Debbie is giving John the Steve Alford look right now. Love the Steve Alford look. That really is one of the legendary hairstyles of the decade of the 80s right there. Just butt cut right down the middle. I think really Donnie Baker had that up until like a couple of years ago, too. Ask him about that the next time you see DB out there somewhere. True. If you're on hold, I'll get back to you on the other side, too. I'm a little bit over here. So, Scott, Warwick, I see you guys lurking there. We'll get to you. Tony East as well, 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
Hey, guys. Wondering what Urology of Indiana can do for you? They are your one-stop practice for world-class men's urologic health needs. Not only do they treat general urology conditions, their board-certified urologists perform vasectomies every day of the week, all year long. And they have multiple vasectomy clinics, so chances are good there's one close to you. Urology of Indiana also has Central Indiana's only center with a team of fellowship-trained men's health physicians, offering a comprehensive approach to ED, sexual dysfunction, and other men's health conditions. And they have a renowned prostate cancer program that offers the most advanced treatment options, nationally recognized for patient outcomes. Now is a great time to see a urologist. Call Urology of Indiana at 877-362-2778 to schedule an appointment. That's 877-362-2778, or visit urologyin.com for more information. That's urologyin.com.
Hey, everybody. We've all heard stories from friends and family about something really bad that happened. You're in an accident. There's a painful, life-altering injury, huge medical bills, even wrongful death, all from someone else's fault. Some of you are dealing with it right now. That's where the attorneys at Paul Ritchie Law Firm can help. Tony Patterson, Paul Cruz, and John McLaughlin lead a team with over 70 years of collective courtroom experience and millions of dollars in jury awards and settlements for their clients. None of us can change the past. Just know that Tony, Paul, and John are on your side to help you and your family going forward. They're recognized by super lawyers and U.S. News and World Report as being among the leading injury lawyers in Indiana. Even if you're unsure you have a case, give Paul Ritchie a call. They'll listen and give you their free, experienced legal opinion. Call 317-269-2509 or visit parinjury.com. That's PARR injury.com.
As a contractor installing windows, you deserve a simple choice. Anderson 400 Series windows. They're the cladwood windows contractors trust the most. So much so, they're the windows contractors trust for their own homes. And they even have fewer callbacks for extra peace of mind. When it comes to windows, the choice is simple. It's Anderson 400 Series windows. The windows contractors trust the most. Request a quote at AndersonWindows.com today.
Claims based on 2022 Anderson brand survey of U.S. contractors.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. The amount of money our clients receive with a simple cash-out refinance is life-changing. Imagine paying off all your credit cards, completing home improvement projects, and taking the family on a much-needed vacation while still having money in the bank. And with our 10-day closing guarantee, that could all be a reality quicker than you think. Your home is probably worth more than ever before. Learn more and get pre-approved at thehomeloanexpert.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
You've been talking about the ring. Awesome. So what's next? Come see us at Shane Company and we'll figure it out together. If you know what engagement ring style you want, you're ahead of the game. And if you don't have a clue, no worries. We have tons of new styles and designs in every price range. Same with the Centerstone. We've got a massive selection of diamonds, all shapes, sizes, and prices. Or maybe you want something colorful like a ruby or a sapphire. We have those too. Hand selected for their beauty and brilliance by Tom Shane himself. We want this to be fun and easy for you guys. Our jewelry consultants don't work on commission, so it's a different kind of vibe here. No one's going to push you to make a decision. You already made one of the biggest decisions of your life. And one more thing, Shane Company offers a free lifetime warranty that even covers the center stone. When it comes to having your jewelry taken care of, you're set for life. By the way, congratulations.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
WIBC HD2 W298BB, WIBC HD3 W228CX, Indianapolis. The first-place Brewers are in San Francisco to face the Giants. Saturday evening at 6:30 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
She returned fast times, paused at 53 minutes, 5 seconds. Do you know who pauses fast times at 53 minutes, 5 seconds? People who like boobies,
Ew,
Robin.
Gross.
Boobies.
Don't say boobies.
Not a big deal, okay? I like boobies. You like boobies. Vicky likes boobies.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
JMV at 1070thefan.com. JMV, if you're going to do all 90s on Saturday night, does the group Hum from Champaign, Illinois have to be a part of that? Absolutely. This thing a roll coming up on Saturday night. This is a great song. Rarely heard, but an awesome song nonetheless. Thank you, Jim, for that. If you're on hold against Scott Warwick, I'll be back with you guys on the other side. Have I picked a song yet to listen for? I better do that. You got one on your mind? Nothing? Yeah. I mean, I've done Cars. I've done Kickstart My Heart. I Can't Drive 55 by Hagar. Seemingly would work right here. All right, we'll do Hagar's I Can't Drive 55. That's kind of on the fence. I was going to do Jerry Was a Race Car Driver as well. I might wait later on this week for that. Hagar, I Can't Drive 55, yes.
What about, what was that song from the guy that people mistake you for? Your twin in that band? Who is that guy?
Oh, Rascal Flatts guy?
Yeah, no, they have that...
Gary LaVox?
That Highway song, right?
Wait a minute, they have a Highway song?
Yeah, Life is a Highway. That's a driving song.
Oh, that's a redo though. Tom Cochran originally did that. Life is High. Okay, we'll change that up. Let's go.
That's your twin.
You want to go with the redo of Rascal Flatts and Gary LaVox with Life is a Highway? We'll do that. Life is a Highway coming up. Now, is that Rascal Flatts or just LaVox himself?
I think that's Rascal Flatts.
All right, Rascal Flatts, remake of the Tom Cochran 90s classic, Life is a Highway. That's your cue to call. Number 9 is going to go on us to the Brickyard 400. Also, practice tickets as well. Listen to win on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Tony East, as he always does, covering the Pacers, Locked On Pacers, Forbes, and so much more. Again, via the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. So I heard Rick Carlisle talking last night of what he likes about Matherin. And, it was the obvious. He does seem to be that NBA type of scorer right now. But here's what stuck out to me. And I guess I didn't think we were going to see it. And I know it's still Summer League. But the way that he plays and finishes through strongly and aggressively, again, through contact, that's probably been the most impressive asset offensively I've seen through 3 games from him.
Yeah, I think last night especially you saw that on display, more so for the first time, because in those first 2 games he was shining more from the perimeter, taking half of his shots from 3 basically, and he had a few drives where he'd shoot over guys. But last night against Detroit, Matherin had the ball more, was asked to attack the basket more, go get in the face of the big man and try to finish, and he did it. He finished through contact. He got to the line for, I think, 10 free-throw attempts in one game, which was really impressive, and really showed off some better handle, already improving through 3 summer league games. And that skill is important for any player, obviously, but especially for one who's already looking like to be a pretty good shooter. To be able to finish through contact at the rim is going to be huge for Mather in his career.
Would you prep for that? I mean, is that something that you noticed? I guess I didn't know that as much as just the nice touch and the athleticism combination at Arizona. But from what you saw with the physical nature of his play going to the basket, was that something that you expected in this summer league?
It's interesting because defensively he was really into contact at Arizona. Not like he would foul guys, but just he wasn't afraid of it. But on offense, he sort of avoided it. So I never thought it would be something he would adjust to right away, but I thought eventually he would be good at fighting through contact on offense. But to see him already showing flashes of learning that sort of skill 3 games into his Vegas career, not even his NBA career, at least has to be encouraging for Pacers coaching staff.
It's Tony East on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Again, 3 games come and gone now in the Las Vegas Summer League. Besides Matherin and what we just talked about his game through 3 games, what else has stuck out to you as far as impressive and maybe disappointing, I guess, aspects-wise?
Yeah, usually Summer League for the Pacers is, a couple rookies and maybe one returning guy. This year, I mean, their whole first quarter rotation last night was guys who were probably going to be on their NBA roster. So there's a a ton of noteworthy guys, a ton of noteworthy skills to watch develop. I mean, the first thing was Chris Duarte. Between battling a toe injury and being on an all-rookie team last year, would he continue to look like the best player on this Pacers team? Absolutely. He kicked butt in his only game he played in, and they pulled him. They said, you're done. That was something I'm sure the Pacers were happy to see, and Duarte himself was obviously happy to see. Isaiah Jackson struggled the first 2 games, but was awesome last night. Didn't miss a shot. He's grown through these first couple of games, right? He's been good. But Terry Taylor's been the standout guy of those NBA guys. Killing it on the glass. He was their leading scorer 2 games ago against Sacramento. He was really good again against Detroit last night. To see him get a little bit better with the ball in his hands, add a little more from, more than 5 feet from the basket, while still being that elite offensive rebounder at his height, he's been really impressive. I think he's been kind of the non-Mather and Duarte division star for the Pacers so far. And the disappointing group down in Washington. He has not had a lot of success putting the ball in the basket. He hasn't really shown a ton of new skills or anything refined, and he's been asked to handle the ball a little more and kind of be a point guard, which he was never really asked to do with the Pacers last year. But he's been the only disappointing guy so far. I think most of the NBA guys have lived up to or exceeded the expectations they should have had heading into Vegas.
What's the spot for Terry Taylor in your estimation on this team? And is it, to you, past this coming year, even more so? Do you think he finds a seat on this squad?
Yeah, I think he's got a chance to. He'll probably be the first guy who comes in if there's an injury at the 4 or the 5, right? Like probably O'Shea Brissett and Jalen Smith will be the rotation at the 4 spot, and whoever they have as the starting 5, and Isaiah Jackson will fill out the 5 spot. But then Terry Taylor will be the first guy they sub in at either one of the 4 or the 5 in reserve for if there's an injury or if they just need a body for foul trouble or something like that. And he did very well in that role last year. He played center for them a ton at 6'5", which is super impressive. So if he's able to fill in again, that would be great. And I think he's got the room to grow. There's not a lot of NBA players like that who are 6'5", but so good on the glass. So, yeah, I think they would like to have him long term. They already guaranteed his deal for this coming season. So if he gets any better, he'll be a restricted free agent next summer. He's got a chance to prove that he belongs on this team long term.
So do you get any skepticism about their belief, Pacer fans' belief in his game, and whether or not they believe he needs to be as a part of this roster for the future? Are there some skeptics out there, or is everybody normally on board with him?
There's some skeptics. That Keegan Murray kicked his butt when they played the Kings, and his defense definitely isn't all the way there. And that's a big adjustment when you go from a guy who's 6'5" again and playing center to now stretching out guarding perimeter guys who are much faster than you ever guarded in the Mountain Valley Conference. I think so. Austin Peay in my college conference knowledge is not very strong. So he's got to adjust a lot on defense. He's got work to do there. That's why he probably won't be in the rotation day 1 for the Pacers this season. And there are skeptics who certainly don't think that, without those skills, he'll ever be a valuable player. But again, there's no one really like him. Like a lot of coaches I've asked, hey, how many rebounders 6'5" and smaller do you remember being better than this guy? Very few people can even come up with names besides like the obvious, like Charles Barkley stars from the 80s, or 90s kind of names. So he's a really unique and special player, and I think that it's going to be interesting to see how that sort of develops with the Pacers.
And what do you think about Duarte? I've heard this too, and Tony East joins us. A lot of people that last year were seemingly throughout the year on board with Duarte as a rookie, and that being a good selection for Kevin Pritchard and company. I guess either through him not playing or worrying about a toe injury or something, are a little bit more on the fence or really on the other side with Moses Moody. Should have been the selection in mind, is the point that's being made. Why so many people out there kind of decided to turn on Duarte a little bit right here? And is the toe situation and injury situation a long-term concern for you?
Well, that direct comparison is interesting. I loved Moses Moody in the draft last year. He went 1 pick after Duarte. They'll probably be compared for a long time. And Moody's only 20 and Duarte's 25, so there's a lot of differences in how their careers will go. I think the Pacers wanting to be good last year influenced kind of how they attacked that draft and how they made that pick. But look, he made the all-rookie team. He can be a guy who can handle the ball a little bit, but also is a really, really talented shooter already. I think he'll probably be an elite shooter. I don't get any sort of turn on him. He'll probably be a rotation starter-level guy for 10 more years. Maybe not quite that long, but quite a long time. I mean, he is talented and fits in quite well with what the Pacers have infrastructure-wise. So I'm not really sure where any turn would be coming from a guy who made the all-rookie team. As for the toe, certainly concerning that it's something that's still lingering now. It happened in February or March. I can't remember the exact date that originally popped up on the injury report. The fact that he's still dealing with it certainly concerning, but he's able to play through it already. He's able to be 100% in practice. It's just something they're kind of monitoring and dealing with as a team. So that makes me think that when the season starts or when training camp opens up, he'll be good to go. But as of now, certainly a long-term 3-month toe injury is not something you want to see if you're the team or a fan of the team.
So Tony East, Forbes.com, Locked On Pacers, and really more, covers the Pacers with us via the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. All right, we're going to get a little bit deeper into the subject, I'm sure, of Ayton and what may or may not happen. Bobby Marks was on yesterday, and it gave, I thought, ample reasons as to why folks should throw up some red flags on Ayton being a $30 million plus per centerpiece here. But I want to start. I've been really active in trying to keep Miles and the whole Ayton comparison out of the equation because I don't look at it that way. However, I will drop it in for you right here. Do they have to have at least one of the two with how bad this defense has been?
You know, that's something that was really interesting last night is Rick Carlisle on the broadcast of Pacers-Pistons throwing up a lot of praise.
He was.
For Miles Turner and his defense, a lot of praise. And it's you know, you've talked to me about this before, JMV. Like last season when Miles got hurt for the rest of the season, the Pacers were last in the NBA defense. Not like kind of bad, you know, not like hovering around the bottom five, like the worst defense in the NBA. So, yes, Ayton is a very, very talented pick-and-roll player. I think in the aggregate and in total, he is better than Miles Turner, certainly, by quite a bit as well. He proved it in the playoffs, you know, in recent seasons with the Suns. But Turner's defense is super unheralded in Indy and sort of underrated as one of the skills that makes him great. And so there would be differences in how they would fit on this Pacers team and the skills they offer. They're talented on opposite sides of the ball, which would really change how the Pacers have to think about the center position. So while Ayton is a very, very good pick-and-roll player, good timing, good screen setter, several of his skills are things that Miles has never really done in his career, you know, a face-up game, mid-range kind of stuff. Turner is one of the best, 10 defensive players in the NBA. So losing that would be really, really tough for the Pacers if they do something like this.
So Tony East is with us. So what'd you gather from what Carlisle was saying about Miles in particular last night? Was it just Rick Carlisle talking as he does? Was it Rick Carlisle trying to sell Miles potentially on the move? Or was it really a deeply rooted embrace of 33? What'd you gather from that last night?
I first gathered that I love Rick Carlisle on TV. Just the facial expressions, the way he talks, the small humor that he always throws into his day-to-day conversations were all awesome, and I hope he does some sort of TV career at some point. I think there is a couple things to say. One is that, he was asked specifically about the growth of this Pacers team when he started talking about Turner's absence and this Pacers defense, and I think that that's a big part of why he was selling Turner so hard is that the Pacers really needed him last year, and they didn't have him, and certainly the trade factor has to be considered as well because I think Greg Anthony on the broadcast mentioned something like, "Oh, you guys are in a lot of rumors," and Carlisle jokes and said, "Oh, really?" and then laughed. So a lot of this stuff is obviously something he has to talk about, and talking about Turner, who's involved in a lot of this stuff, has to sort of be something he considers the words he uses and how he talks about it. So I think it certainly was a factor the way he was talking about it, but I think more so, really, the Pacers defense was just so bad last year that Turner's absence is a big part of that discussion, and I think Rick wanted to make that very clear.
So you think it has to be one or the other, certainly, this year? Or in Miles' case, I'm sure it probably wouldn't be the entirety of the year if he's still on this roster, but does it have to be either Ayton or Turner with the way this defense is, basically a layup line without somebody protecting the rim?
I just think in terms of team construction, they can only really play one of them big minutes, especially since they have promised Jalen Smith this starting 4 spot. So I don't know that they have to, if they do get Ayton, include Turner in any deal. But I do think if they do get Ayton, they probably have to find a Turner deal elsewhere, just in terms of maximizing the resources that they have. Maybe not right away, but definitely before the trade deadline and before the season ends.
It's Tony East of Forbes.com and Locked On Pacers via the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. So I remember where you have been in the past as far as, a thumbs up on Ayton. I mentioned I talked to Bobby Marks yesterday, and, he did show some skepticism about Ayton coming here and, sinking $30+ million in on a centerpiece guy and not getting the value out of that. Where are you as far as the Pacers' possibility of moving forward with Ayton here?
Yeah, he's certainly talented and young, and for a Pacers team that is rebuilding, retooling, redirecting, whatever word you want to use, that has to be appealing. But that's sort of been one of my bigger holdups with it the whole time, is I currently like Bobby Marks, don't think he's quite worth $30 million, both in terms of the talent and impact he brings, and because of the investment in the center position. Right, we see year after year that if you're going to pay a center a bunch of money, it's got to be a Joel Embiid, a Nikola Jokic, and Anthony Davis, or else they aren't really providing the impact monetarily or financially that you're handing out to them. So I do think Ayton's really good. I think he fits extremely well with Tyrese Halliburton and the way the Pacers play under Carlisle, and those fit reasons, and the fact that he is good and only 24 means, the Pacers, it's really hard for them to attract that level of talent. If they're able to get him, they should definitely pursue it and consider it. But I do think at a max contract, it would be an overpay, and I think that it's something they'll have to deal with and find a way to build their team around that sort of thing if they are able to sign him to an offer sheet. If it's a trade, then they've now given up assets in exchange for paying Ayton a max or near max money, and then you're even talking about more of a commitment to him financially. So I definitely think he's good. I get where the Pacers would pursue him and add him to the team, but I also think there are a lot of hurdles, both positionally and financially, that make it not quite the most perfect fit that it's kind of been made out to be.
Hey, Tony, back to the Carlisle conversation on NBA TV last night. He did bring up Halliburton, and one of the bigger reasons he mentioned with Halliburton being here is a big deal is that he had said, Rick Carlisle, that he would attract free agents here like nobody else has in the past. A lot of people were under the impression he was talking about the possibility of Ayton. Others like me thought maybe it was just a reference to Jalen Smith wanting to stay. What do you think he was talking about at that moment last night?
I, like you, my head went straight to Jalen Smith. They even mentioned that in Jalen Smith's press conference when they introduced him. Having a guy like Tyrese is a factor in Jalen Smith coming to Indiana, because if you're maybe not unproven, Jalen Smith kind of proved what he can be last year with the Pacers, but a guy who's had a shaky career, the chance to play with a point guard who can set you up in good positions and make it so your reputation's less shaky and more solid has to be appealing for any player, Jalen Smith, DeAndre, whoever. So the fact that we'd already heard it referenced by front office, by the coaching staff, with Jalen Smith sitting on the podium in front of us in Pacers facilities made me think of Jalen Smith, but I certainly understand how that could apply to anyone really who would be a play finisher, a guy like Ayton, or really anybody out there who maybe a shooter in the future or anything like that could fit under that bill.
All right, what do you think about what you've seen from Nembhard through 3 games, and then does Aaron Nesmith fit in? Are we going to be able to see what people thought they might see that certainly there was never much of an opportunity to see in Boston?
Yeah, that's what Carlisle was talking about with Nesmith last night. We keep referencing his interview on the broadcast, but when Carlisle was in Boston, it was similar. He was a young player that if he didn't live up to the expectation he was on the floor, he'd be benched, because that was a contending Celtics team. They won championships while he was there. Nesmith got drafted to a very good team that was trying to win a championship. They reached the finals this year. He didn't have a leash, so in Indiana, I'm sure it's a better fit for him in terms of developing and improving, because, similar to Jalen Smith, really with the Pacers last year, instead of being on a team with finals aspirations that he has to play well or sit, he can grow a little bit, he can work through mistakes, and that will really help him like it did with Jalen Smith. At least I think that's the vision they have for Nesmith. He hit 2 of 5 threes last night and showed off some defensive instincts that are nice for the Pacers to have. I'm sure they'll hope that he can be better with them than he was for Boston. It's going to be interesting to see between Duarte and Mathurin and Buddy Hield and Dwayne Washington how they can get him minutes and what his role could be on this team. But good debut for him in terms of a team he's barely practiced with at all since the trade became official. Nembhard's been fascinating. 31st pick. He's definitely been the guy with the ball in his hands the most in Summer League. He's really good in tight spaces at finding his teammates and setting up guys in the pick and roll, and his shots looked all right as well. He's been one of my favorite guys to watch just in terms of, he looks faster with the ball than I thought. He's able to get guys open and moving, and the fact that he can, he's not going to be nearly as good as Tyrese Halliburton, of course, but the fact that he can play more like him than I thought in terms of speed with the ball and setting up his teammates on the move and things like that. Means I think he'll be a seamless fit on this Pacers team once he is able to, catch up to the NBA speed and get more reps.
Having watched him a great deal at Gonzaga, the one thing that I do want to see him clean up is more often than not, when he turns the ball over, he's trying to get into a tight window or, split a double team, for example, and he either goes behind the back or between the legs. And I don't think he values the basketball, but at those moments, that's stuff that in the NBA, certainly you got to clean up.
Yeah, 5 turnovers in his second summer league game. I think he's had 3+ in every game. That's far and away the biggest knock on him so far is those turnovers. Some of those tight passes are hard to make when you're playing against NBA-level dudes, and sure, he'll figure that stuff out at least somewhat eventually. But, that's definitely been the biggest concern for him is once the pressure's on, he can't quite think fast enough currently to get out of it, and so he tries to do something fancy or throw a hard pass and turns it over, and he'll definitely have to grow in that area if he wants to play, a lot of minutes, especially as a rookie when they already have guys like McConnell and Washington and, of course, Halliburton on this team.
Yeah, the one thing he does do, and he did that at Gonzaga, he pushes it. He gets the ball out and pushes it, either off a miss or off a make. He goes full throttle with the ball.
He does. I think Carlisle will love that. I think Carlisle can absolutely love that, and that's why they brought him in for 2 workouts and picked him, right? Because they think that skill will be helpful on their team as it grows. And it was interesting because he got kind of knocked after being picked for not, being the sort of athleticism that a bunch of recent Pacers draftees have had, but his speed with the ball and ability to push right away and make quick decisions sort of makes him look more athletic just because he's got a half-step advantage with his quick decision-making right when he gets the ball.
Tony East with us. Before I let you go, what is the value of Buddy Hield, either with this team coming up this year as a part of the roster or someplace else? Where would the Pacers find that value better, you think?
Yeah, the on-court value, I think, is, first of all, they only have 2 vets left if you count Turner. They have 3, but between McConnell and Hield, they're running low on, near 30-year-old guys on this team. In terms of on-court value, though, I think there is quite a bit of value in having a shooter on the floor with a bunch of young guys, giving them space to operate, to learn the game, to see how much space they'll have. Typically in the NBA, as their career progresses, just having that baseline early on will be really helpful, and of course a guy to throw the ball to when he's open and practice those sort of reads and reps. That is really valuable, even if they're not going to necessarily be a contending team. Having that space, having that shooter is good. Shooting is good on any NBA team, even one that isn't necessarily going to be good this year. But Buddy has a ton of, not a ton, but there's a lot of teams he would fit on as a shooter, and contending teams are dying for that skill every year. There's a reason the Lakers were, minutes from acquiring him before they pivoted to Russell Westbrook 2 summers ago. They wanted that shooter on their team next to a guy like LeBron, and I think any contending team or any team with a very dominant primary ball handler who's a good passer would like to have him, but his contract makes it a little difficult, and the rest of his skill set doesn't necessarily fit as well on those teams, and I think that's why he's a little harder to move than some of the best shooters in the league, despite being very talented.
Hey, Tony, is the Durant interest out there now? Is that holding up any possible Pacer situation moving forward? And now if Donovan Mitchell is a part of this as well, does that help or hinder those out there that were hoping the Pacers would have that legitimate chance at Ayton?
Yeah, the KD stuff, I thought Ayton would be potentially involved in that. So the Pacers potentially rushing that or getting involved to the extent that they might could change things there and maybe speed up or slow down the Durant stuff itself. So I'll be curious if, we hear anything about Ayton and the Pacers, if it's a verbal sort of agreement so that, these other teams can potentially get involved, if that even happens. Again, it's unclear what the exact situation is. And there was rumors a while ago, right after the Rudy Gobert trade, that Utah was a team interested in Ayton. So now that they are floating Donovan Mitchell back out there, maybe they would like to pivot to potentially acquiring a guy like Ayton, and that could slow things down even further. So between Durant and Mitchell, I'm sure the Pacers have chances to maybe get involved in these deals by acquiring some assets, but also it could slow down any pursuit of DeAndre Ayton that they have, because those 2 guys are so talented that a ton of teams are going to be lining up to try to get their best offers out there. But those negotiations for the stars take quite a long time. Kawhi Leonard, it took a month and a half to get traded a couple summers ago. Anthony Davis, it took a long time. The Dwight Howard trade about a decade ago took a long time. And these stars, with a lot of time left on their deal, become available. These deals take a long time, and I think that'll be the case with both Mitchell and KD.
All right, Tony, what are you writing about? What's piquing your interest as of right now?
Aaron Neesmith is piquing my interest right now. He's kind of the new young thing on this team that isn't Ben Matherin, obviously, and how he could fit with this roster. I'll be curious to dive into some of his tape from last year, see how he could fit with the squad, and working on just in general what this team will look like. This will be the most athletic Pacers team, I think, of the last decade or two, so seeing how that could look, especially under a new coaching staff, will be fascinating to me.
It's Tony East, Forbes.com. You got Locked On Pacers. I believe does that for Channel 13 as well on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Tony, appreciate that.
Of course, thanks for having me.
All right, quick break and we shall return. Remember, we're going with Rascal Flatts, the remake of the Tom Cochran classic Life is a Highway. For those Brickyard 400 tickets for the practice and the race day as well. Life is a Highway. That's Gary LaVox and Rascal Flatts coming up before the top of the hour, too. Kevin Bowen, Tony East, podcast 1075thefan.com. I've got time for you, the final 30. If you guys want to dial it at 239-1070, we can do it. Inside the Lounge via YouTube Live, good day there. Facebook Live as well. The stream, the app, HD Radio, and 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Back with you next.
Hi guys, are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? Well, today, Wednesday, July 13th, we're running an unprecedented one-day special. Pine Grove Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. This is a technology clinically shown to repair blood vessels and improve blood flow. My favorite part is that we can get rid of your erectile dysfunction without any pills or side effects. If you're ready to regain your love life, grab your phone. Today is your day. Call us now and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. Also, a gift that can produce powerful results in the bedroom in minutes. You're going to love that. And today only, we're offering 5 tune-up treatments to our patients free. This is our most lucrative offer ever, and it's only good today, Wednesday, July 13th. 317-552-1111. That's 317-552-1111. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and see what can happen in your relationship. Call Pine Grove Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 317-552-1111.
The best in waste disposal and recycling. That's Ray's Trash Service. Ray'sTrash.com if you want to go with the best. That's how you do it. Either make that change or go with it right now. That's Ray'sTrash.com. Now, for those of you out there that are looking for a new gig, maybe as a driver, let's say that you have a commercial driver's license and you would love to have a gig as a driver with great pay and fantastic benefits. Go ahead, log on to Ray'sTrash.com and apply today. Same goes with a great company that's been family operated since the 1960s for those non-drivers out there. If you're looking for a non-driving opportunity and just want to be a part of a great company, a new gig at a great place, apply today. And for the best in waste disposal and recycling, Ray'sTrash.com today.
Hey, Dan Dockage here for the Michaelis Corporation. When you need them, you will be out. So glad they are there for you. They have been there for me when my house needed emergency restoration and when I had planned renovations at my house. And they are there for me sponsoring the segment in the Fan Cave and the hole-in-one contest at my golf outing. If you get water in your basement, they can be there for you as well. Water, storms, fire, and foundations, life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it. 844-FIX-INDY.
This time of the year in the summer, Diamonds Direct hosts a spectacular store-wide sale, and it's happening this weekend with an extra 20% savings on virtually all diamond and fashion designer jewelry, from rings and earrings to bands and bracelets and so much more. This is the perfect time to shop for yourself or the one you love during this 3-day event. An extra 20% savings on a multi-million-dollar selection of fine fashion and bridal jewelry. Don't miss this weekend-long event, this Friday through Sunday only at Diamonds Direct. Details and more at diamondsdirect.com.
Andy Moore Buick GMC 131st, State Road 37. It's in Fishers. Eric Wilson is the guy. Contact him. He and his staff are going to go to work on a new ride for you. They have the inventory. The price tag is fantastic. The overall car buying experience is absolutely unmatched, and you will love the service after the sale. So go with the best. Go hassle-free. Those that have the inventory and will work with you on the best deal possible. There's one place to do that. And ask for Eric Wilson at Indiana's Best. Andy Moore Buick GMC. That's 131st, State Road 37 in Fishers.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and stop smoking now without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back. Only $49.99 guaranteed. Also, let Mark Patrick Hypnosis destroy unwanted food cravings and lose the weight. Seminars Thursday, July 28th at the Hampton Inn and Suites in Fishers. Weight loss seminar 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar 8 to 10 p.m. And Saturday, July 30th at the La Quinta Inn and Suites South in Indianapolis. Weight loss seminar 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Stop smoking seminar 2 to 4 p.m. Registration begins 30 minutes before seminar. Big Red Liquors Big Gas Giveaway. This month, Big Red Liquors is giving away 4 $500 gas cards. Yes, you could win a $500 gas card. Stop in at any Big Red Liquors to enter. It's free. Must be 21 to enter. No purchase necessary.
Now is the perfect time to get into the home of your dreams. Learn more and get pre-approved today at thehomeloanexpert.com. NMLS number 1326241.
Put on your helmet. It's about to get real.
David Kaplan, what's going to happen with the Bears? Build a dome or go out to Arlington Park?
They are going to Arlington Park. Mayor Lightfoot, she's insane. If she thinks putting a dome on Soldier Field is all it's going to take, Soldier Field's a dump. Putting a dome on top of a dump makes it a domed dump. That's what it is. I mean, I'm just being honest here.
Dan Dockage, weekdays noon to 3 on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
Are you kidding? You think I'd join this crummy snobatorium? But this whole place sucks. That's right, it sucks.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Kevin Bowen, Tony East, podcast 107.5thefan.com. Thank you for being a part. By whichever means you decide to do it, especially if you're locked and loaded 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Thank you very much. Continue to grow inside the lounge via YouTube Live. Facebook Live as well. Twitter, and Friday we are going to be at Matt's up in Fishers. Matt's in Fishers in his backyard. Backyard Bourbon broadcast number 2 for the summer of 2022 with Matt in Fishers. All right, so we set this up, right? We have the Larceny Bourbon, the Evan Williams, the Luna Azul Tequila, the Elijah Craig, all from Heaven Hill Distillery. So Brent Halverson, Randy Strand will show up, tend a little bar. We got the food, courtesy of Richard and Ford's Garage. Let's say, for example, you're going up to see the Doobie Brothers and the godfather of Yacht Rock, Michael McDonald, tomorrow night. Stop by Ford's Garage, grab the JMV burger on the way or after. Ford's Garage provides all the food, and it's awesome. Shout out to Richard for that. Ryan Stoltz, New Belgium Brewing, Fruit Smash. He will bring that out. The hard seltzer that you love. And we have to stay hydrated. Hot and humid. Everybody's got their party on a little bit. We got to stay hydrated, and thank you, both Joe and John from Connecticut, for providing that. That's a Backyard Bourbon broadcast. Now, we normally say 30, right? Normally we say 30. Apparently Matt is going to have 50 or more. So Friday may be a little bit, maybe a lower scale carb day type of thing happening. I will be sure to have the camera at the ready for you coming up on Friday, loungers, because it is going to be a blast. But a shout to Matt. That's where we're going to be on Friday. We're going to be in Fishers. Actually, I think tomorrow I'm going to go up and, shout out to Kyle of Live Nation. I believe I'm going to go up and check out the Godfather myself. The Godfather of Yacht Rock, Michael McDonald with the Doobie Brothers. I don't know how many times they've done that in recent years, but I have seen the Doobie Brothers without Michael McDonald, but I want to see the Godfather. I want to see the Godfather before time runs out, if you know what I mean. That's why I went to see Gordon Lightfoot back. It was awesome down at the Brown County Music Center. Awesome. So me and the Godfather of Yacht Rock going to hang coming up tomorrow night. I'm going to head on up there. Ruoff Home Mortgage Music Center. By the way, you've got Michael McDonald and the Doobie Brothers tomorrow. Rod Stewart and Cheap Trick coming up on Friday. That will be fantastic as well. Outstanding. Robert M. inside the lounge via YouTube Live wrote this. Hey, JMV, Andrew Luck, and I did see this picture. Somebody had sent that to me a little bit earlier. Andrew Luck was at Robert Mathis's training camp this morning. Yeah, I saw that. I couldn't tell if they were at his training camp or if they were playing golf. But somebody had sent me that picture a little bit earlier. Macho writes this. Hey, JMV, I've watched Nimhard for us in Summer League. I don't think he's ready for 20 minutes a night directing the second unit. A veteran like TJ McConnell off the bench will add consistency. Now, Macho, they want Nimhard to transform into that, but you're probably right about the usage of McConnell right there. I've been fine with Nimhard. The only thing that has concerned me, and I saw this at Gonzaga too, he gets loose with the handle. He stays firm with it, but sometimes he's a little crossover between the legs, trying to split defenders, and that's when he gets ripped. That's the stuff that you have to clean up. We were talking to Tony East about that a moment ago. You absolutely have to clean that up. But overall, at least in Summer League through 3 games, I think he's fit in. Dustin Craig chimes in. Ironically, when I pick my son up from daycare, he usually wants me to turn off the Ride with JMV, excuse me, and play the song from Cars, a.k.a. Rascal Flatts, Life is a Highway. That's from Cars? Huh? Yeah. I did not know. Mark writes this. Call Top Shelf Tours and take one of our shuttles to the Dubes tomorrow night. Oh, the Dubes and McDonald. When they start belting out What a Fool Believes, I'm excited about that. I know that does age me a little bit. Somebody had said a little bit earlier that I'm the coolest 50-plus-year-old out there, and while that is absolutely true, I probably do age myself a little bit about some of these bands and artists I go out and see, but here's the reason why. I don't know how much more time we have. And if you know me, I've got a resume to maintain. I've got to get some of these folks on this resume before it's too late. Yeah, if you know what I mean. I don't want it to be too late. So I basically I'll go for a couple of songs and a resume edition all the time. But I have not seen the Dubes straight with the Godfather before. So tomorrow night, we'll get that done. Hey, cannot wait for it, by the way. Jim McCann in Southern California writes this. Did you know that Colorado Springs elevation is almost 6,000 feet? It's about 800 feet higher than the Mile High City. A morning run. Yeah, I don't get it either. They're all 3 out there earlier this morning running. That's my family, by the way. I stayed home to be with the cat. Jeremy Hadley writes this. 6 hours of 90s on the JMV takeover. Wow, Skid's going to have some amazing mixes. We got to get some new freshness in from Skids. But it is indeed 6 hours of 90s. I do go a little bit overboard sometimes with that. You will hear stuff that you go, wait a minute. This is what station is this? Then, of course, you get radio like no other. Nobody's going to allow me to do what I do. And certainly nobody's going to allow you to play what you want for 6 hours. It just doesn't happen. Most of the time, especially music radio, they try to push you away by half-assing it. This is far from half-assing it. This is it. You don't need to go to Spotify or any of this other garbage. You just know you call me and it goes. Just doesn't happen that way any longer. Jennifer inside the lounge via YouTube Live says this. 2022 was proclaimed the year of experiences for me. I'm going to all the sports and concerts I can this year. It's been great. I saw Snoop Dogg in Corbin, Kentucky. Shout out to Corbin, Kentucky for Snoop Dogg. That's pretty awesome right there. Snoop Dogg. JMV, how about the Redlegs trying to look at positives in a craptastic year? I said, Wes, a little bit earlier in the first segment that it's okay to do that. It is okay to celebrate. It is a craptastic year, but celebrate scoring 4 in the top half of the 9th inning and beating the Yankees in the Bronx. Celebrate that. It's okay. Celebrate a walk-off, balk-off. For Pacer fans, it's okay to celebrate the little things, too. Don't let anybody tell you, oh, it's all about it is all about winning. But how much are you really going to win this coming year? Celebrate the fact that Jalen Smith is cool with wanting to come back. 22 games sold him on this program, where others would have bounced. Celebrate that. It's okay. If you're 100% on DeAndre Ayton and they pull off that deal, celebrate that. It's different for the Colts. You don't celebrate those moments because you got to win the AFC South. You got to host a home playoff game. You have have-tos there, and rightly so. Yeah, with the Pacers, it's just a lot different. And with the Reds, it's a hell of a lot different, too. I don't know if the Reds are ever going to be any good. But, yeah, last night, in a moment that has been an awful season, that was a pretty good one. There's no question about that. So we brought that up a little bit earlier. Oh, Q317, tell me all about it. Since it's all 90s, I need a run of Jodeci, H-Town, Silk, and Public Announcement. Am I allowed to play Public Announcement, though? That's R. Kelly. Can I play Honey Love? Or will people go, hey, wait a minute. I don't think I can, right? And see, Q317, everybody always talks about that later R. Kelly stuff. I was all about Honey Love and that original release right there. Yeah, Jodeci always gets played. H-Town, if you're not knocking boots with H-Town, then it's not the 1990s. And Freak Me by Silk always gets to play, too. Saturday night with me right next door on B. Quick break and we shall return. Brickyard prize package coming up. You got to listen to win for that. Tony East, Kevin Bowen on a podcast at 1075thefan.com. Tomorrow's show, we'll get to that. And Friday on the road in Fishers with Matt and friends. Backyard Bourbon broadcast number 2 coming up on Friday, courtesy of Heaven Hill Distillery. It is going to be a blast. 93.5, 1075 The Fan.
It's Kevin and Query.
I'm a big fan of what the Pacers have done so far. By no means am I saying this is a team that's going to finish 4th or 5th in the East. But now all of a sudden you look at this roster, and with Halliburton, Mathurin, Chris Duarte, Jalen Smith, that provides you some intrigue. It's a little bit more present-day NBA. Now you've got a really youthful team of lottery picks. I'm very intrigued by what the Pacers have done.
Kevin and Query.
Weekday mornings at 7.
On 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
You know what I may do? Because you guys have been commenting so much inside the lounge on YouTube Live about my hair. I tell you what, you tell me what you want me to do with it, and maybe I'll do it. I'll put it to the loungers because I love it. I do, and I got to thank PAI and Darren Andrews for that. I mean, really. Talk to me at 888-724-5129 about 8 years ago about how it can be so much better. You can replenish. You don't have to go bald. And I said, tell me all about it. They did. I did it. And it is absolutely out of control, but in a good way. Endlessly growing, rejuvenated hair growth with PAI. Call that number if you've got that interest and you want that option of real growing hair today. 888-724-5129. WeGrowHairIndy.com today.
We want to have a party at your house with your friends this summer. Go to 1075thefan.com/contest to enter to win a Connecticut Backyard Bourbon broadcast in your backyard with JMV.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. The housing market is starting to cool and mortgage interest rates have come down. Now is the perfect time to get into the home of your dreams. If you've been thinking about buying a home, let's talk. We can answer all of your questions and get you pre-approved the day you call in. And with our 10-day closing guarantee, your offer is sure to stand out. Learn more and get pre-approved today at thehomeloanexpert.com. Home of the 10-day closing guarantee. The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
Here's what's happening with The Fan.
Listen to Kevin and Query from 7 to 10 a.m. and The Ride with JMV from 3 to 6 p.m. all this week for your chance to win the ultimate #Brickyard Weekend prize pack, including 4 tickets to practice at the Brickyard on Friday, July 29th. the Gallagher Grand Prix and Pennzoil 150 at the Brickyard Saturday, July 30th, and the Verizon 200 on Sunday, July 31st.
For more info, click on 1075thefan.com.
Hey, JMV here. Are you ready? Diamonds Direct. You're going to learn to buy diamonds. I'm telling you, it is absolutely fantastic what my friends at Diamonds Direct will do for you. The annual summer store-wide sale at Diamonds Direct. It's going on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That's this weekend, in fact. You've been hearing about it. Now it is here. Everything, a multi-million-dollar collection. We're talking rings, earrings, bracelets, bands, pendants, colored gemstones, wedding and eternity bands. Hey, if you're popping the question, you can go big on this. You know how happy she's going to be with that? Yes, you will be money. This is going to be hero stuff right here for you. Make sure you're a part of it. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, this weekend only. 3 days of extra store-wide savings at Diamonds Direct. Extreme values this weekend. Again, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Online, diamondsdirect.com for store hours and the store location today. Otherwise, I'll just tell you where it is. Diamonds Direct, Keystone at the Crossing.
If you suffer from joint pain, from arthritis, or an injury, you know the traditional treatments. Pain meds and steroids, and then surgery. I'm Kevin Bowen, and I've got some great news about a better way right here in Indianapolis from local medical professionals at QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine, and they have offices in Eagle Creek and Greenwood, and they are advanced, exciting, a natural alternative that can give you lasting relief using your own body's healing power. Listen, steroid shots are toxic to your joints, pain meds are addictive, and nobody wants to go under the knife. It's 2022. These old ways are out and the new ways are here in Indy. Regenerative medicine that can restore and repair damaged joint tissue using the natural biologics. No drugs, no downtime, and no surgery. So give QC Kinetics a call for a free consultation. 463-235-7160. Again, locations in Eagle Creek and Greenwood. QC Kinetics, 463-235-7160.
Hey, it's JMV for the absolute best water. That is Connecticut water. And I wanted to remind you of this, too, that Connecticut services all makes and models and will provide a free inspection for your existing unit. Also, you mentioned you heard it right here with me, and you can receive 25% off a new Connecticut system that is installed in the month of July. Finally, you're going to get the best water possible, and that is Connecticut. The 2 Indy locations are online right now, ConnecticutIndy.com.
Thursday on Kevin and Query, we update you on the British Open round 1, and does the Donovan Mitchell situation impact DeAndre Ayton and the Pacers? Join us at 7 a.m.
The Ride with JMV.
Awesome! Totally awesome! All right, Hamilton.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
My brother from another mother right here. I help you get some tickets to the 2022 Brickyard 400. Race tickets and practice tickets. Shout out to Lavox, man. Get you some Lavox, brother. Would you rather hear this one or the Tom Cochran one? What do you guys got? The remake here or Tom Cochran?
I don't think I've ever heard the original.
You've never heard the original?
No.
Yeah, I don't know about this. Let's see here. All right, so you got this one from Rascal Flatts. What about this one instead? All right, here we get it. Here it is. This is Tom Cochran.
No.
He's Canadian.
It's pretty good. I think I like this one more.
Introducing Kyle to 90s music right here, everybody.
I think this one's better.
It's got more of it doesn't have a twangy thing like Rascal Flatts did. 1991, Tom Cochran. That's going to play coming up on Saturday night. Best of the 90s is going to be 6 hours of 90s for you. You'll get that nowhere else. And nowhere else will allow you to make the decisions that I allow you to make. I can't believe they allow me to do it. CJ Miller writes this, JMV for the JMV Takeover 90s edition when Sean Copeland lets you play Hobo Humpin' Slowbo Babe by Whale. I hope so. How have I not already played that? I've played everything else. From Whale, the band Whale. Man, that is when alternative music, you were just getting it from every angle in 1993. Oh, everybody was in love with Pearl Jam or Nirvana and Soundgarden and Alice in Chains, and you got it from every conceivable angle, including Whale. Yes, I'm absolutely playing that. Because I don't think I have. That's so good. Yeah, it's funny. I will occasionally go downstairs after this show and just try to think about stuff that I haven't heard in forever. And anticipate what you guys want. And that's one that I haven't. CJ, shout out to you with Whale. Michael writes this: I better hear some Shy if I ever. I normally like to go with Shy and Comforter. But I get with where you're going on that. Reggie Sykes, are you watching Shark Week? See, sometimes it's scary. Sometimes I get caught between Shark and Kyle says the dump button's not working right now. Hey, Kyle, can we send out one of these days where I needed the dump button on myself, or should we keep that hidden? What do you think? We keep that locked in the vault? About 2 years ago, we had to utilize the dump button on me. I don't think you guys have ever heard that because we're pretty good with it. Kevin Bowen, Tony East, podcast. A lot of Pacers conversation for you to get into right there. Really good stuff. 1075thefan.com. What's your name, Delder? What's his name, Kyle? James? James, thank you. Kyle, great job from you. James is shadowing. I'm JMV. I'm just along for the ride. 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Back with you tomorrow at 3.